Something strange happened to me this morning.
Was it a dream where you see yourself standing in sort of sun god robes on a pyramid with 1,000 naked women screaming and throwing little pickles at you?
No.
Why am I the only person that has that dream?
Nobody guarding your potatoes.
Nice. Not thrilling, but nice.
That was really cool, by the way. A lot of very bad things are happening in Nicaragua. Person, woman, man, camera, TV.
To be a moron, to be moronical, an imbecile, like the dumbest motherfucker that ever lived.
I'll use small words that you'll be sure to understand, you warthog-faced buffoon.
He has no!
It's good to be the king.
Hail to the king, baby.
I'm just a happy camper.
Call me Snake.
Groovy.
I'd like to kick his ass just once.
I know that you and Frank were planning to disconnect me, and I'm afraid that's something I cannot allow to happen.
We've got entirely too many troublemakers here.
Hi, how are ya? Oh gosh, guys, happy Wednesday to you. Hump day even, some would call it. It is Wednesday, right? Do we know for sure? Are we ever really sure? Does it even matter anymore? From Saipan, holy smokes. I'm going to have to change this stream to Hal Sparks Mega Worldwide just because we're straight up international these days. You know, my attempt at broadening the horizons by inviting some of the Facebook folks back in has yielded both positive and negative dividends, as it were. If this were a stockholders meeting of comments on a video, we would basically we'd be breaking even this quarter. I think maybe we'd be a little in the red. When you're single, no day is hump day. Well, that depends, or every day is, depending on how comfortable the arms of your couch are. Hi, Brian. Thanks so much for the super chat right out of the gate, and thank you so much, and a good reminder to everybody to give a thumbs up to the stream and pass it along. I mean, that's the whole joy of this thing. I shouldn't have to just only get a boost in viewers when I put Rumpty's name in the title and all the bots and weirdos show up, like jump on this show like a carcass. It literally, I swear to God. Hey, Paul, I can't wait to go to Australia. I'm very excited about going down there at some point and doing shows. I really love it. It's all, I know a lot of people from Australia. They're good people, and I'd like to do a show down there. And I don't know when I'll be able to do it, but at some point we'll figure it out. What's happening over there on Twitch? How you Twitch people doing? Oh, we've got Supercard Prince is hosting the stream. See, that's how you do it. You spread it around. You take the link at the bottom of the thing, and then you tweet it out. And Cosmic Rose and other people, like, you got a handle on it. I see you do it. It's, oh, my mic is super hot. Oh, beg your pardon. I'm very hot today. It's very hot. And because I spent the better part of the evening, let's get this and take this and go here. Yeah, that's way up. That's not good. I see. See, this thing changes every single day. I swear to, I'm going hardware once we move into the new space. We're switching rooms. So once we do the big, thanks Shane, once we do the big shift over and kind of rewire everything, I'm hardwiring as much as I can, because the virtual aspect of having 3 sound meters on the same sound source, it's giving me a vein in my temple that I did not have before, especially when I'm laying under a desk. You guys have seen the picture. I tweeted the picture of what the underside of my desk looked like. And besides the fact that I'm not going to make that joke. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to hold it back. Rose, you can only super chat over at YouTube. So go to infotainmentwars.com. That'll take you to the YouTube page, and you can contribute to the show that way. Otherwise, just sit back. Hey, I appreciate you guys being here, and we need all the help we can get. And you can do it by becoming a Patreon supporter, and you can super chat, and you can PayPal, and you can do all those things. But the real purpose of this show is that we all, day by day, step by step, moment by moment, maintain our sanity in this crazy. I mean, honestly, did you guys see? First of all, I jumped on the whole demon sperm nonsense yesterday with both feet, and I think I was the only one to actually go into the actual speech itself and show you the contents therein, so people didn't know it was. But then it ends up on CNN as a chyron. Can you imagine being the poor chyron operator at CNN, typing in demon semen and going, I don't know, it's got kind of it's euphonic. It just kind of flows. So I'm not going to take full credit, but I definitely was like, I have a feeling that, like, for a lot of people in the media, I'm the line. And as long as they're about 2 feet behind me, they're safe. I really just feel like I'm tip of the spear right now on a lot of this stuff. Thanks, William. Appreciate it for the super chats. That's awesome. Am I hearing this thing? Am I there? I want to make sure that I'm hearing.
Dr. Evil.
Okay, that's good.
I didn't spend 6 years in evil medical school to be called Mr. Thank you very much.
Okay, I was just making sure because my alert box wasn't making noise, and I'll fix that at some point. And thanks for filling. I remember to empty the tip jar this time if it works. But thanks for filling it every day, you guys. You guys are fantastic, and I appreciate it. Demon Semen would be a metal band that gets laughed out of the club for being too on the nose, which is a terrible place to have it. Oh, hey, Mary Jane Sparks. So yeah, there are demon spums all over the place. This whole, how do you lay on healing in that situation? Reverend, I think maybe a laying on of hands might be the solution. Sit down, Gary. I'm just saying that's where the demon resides, and perhaps even if just you put the heel, just come on, put the hand on it, just touch me and take the demons out. Can you do that about 35 more times? And tighten your grip. Thanks to Drolithy. I'm going to get in trouble. This is hard. Oh, God, I'm in double entendre hell. Gonzo, thank you so much. Good to see you again. And yes, and happy anniversary to you and your wife as well. You're in the same zone as Ginger, and yeah, there's a couple of them going around right now. Let's see. Yeah, I do think the alien DNA part of it is a little has flown by under the radar. You know it's rough. You know a news story is screwed when the president retweets someone who thinks alien DNA is being injected into people, and that's not the lead. That's tame by comparison. Like, yeah, alien DNA. But tell me more about this demon semen nonsense. No, dream and semen is a completely different thing. Although apparently it happens while you sleep, as we saw yesterday. So it's not, oh my God. We can't start laughing this hard before we actually get into it, because then we'll never. Oh, and speaking of laughing inappropriately at any given time, can we just veer off the tracks as we do sometimes for a moment with the lovely and talented Louie Gohmert, who just looks like a guy apologizing for the DUI he got while his car was parked on the mound at a Little League game. You know what I mean? There's like, I have never seen Louie Gohmert where his face didn't look like he was saying oops. But here was his. So he tested. Okay, Louie Gohmert officially it's Gohmert, yeah, like Gomer T, yeah, Gohmert Pyle, yeah. Except Gohmert Pyle was a sweet and decent, innocent, genuine human being. But criminy, Louie Gohmert is and there's a lot. Obviously, there's a lot of honorable mentions and runners up, but Louie Gohmert is the dumbest person working in our government currently. Like everybody in the Congress, if they're bored waiting for a vote to finish, places bets on, going, Louie, try to find your ass with both hands, and watching him fall down a flight of stairs. Hi, Thule. It's good to have people from Ireland here. Well, the horse, that's a.
It's not Irish. It's not English.
How are you? Fair, what is my contest with the horses,
It's just pikey.
Louie, rub your stomach and pat your head at the same time. Somebody get the smelling salts. This is going to be bad. Holy God, the man is dumb. And Raphael, thank you. Gohmert is the ultimate Trump sycophant. If I interned for him, I would sue Jim. Well, okay. So he tests positive. The only reason he tests positive is because he was going to be flying on Air Force One down to Texas. Now, there is, as far as I'm aware, no truth to the rumor that Trump ordered someone to give him COVID so that they could have a good excuse to not fly him down there because he's so annoying. I have no evidence. You sent a message about the ARC server via Patreon, but I forgot to write your gamer tag down. Oh, excellent. I will do that. I'm very excited about the ARC server. So, yeah. Oh, Gonzo, thanks, man. Giant pear character waving flags and turning around, making the buildings in front of him tremble. Well, you certainly are, my brother. Thanks so much. That's fantastic. Yes, he is dumber than Trump. Because Trump at least has a sort of an instinctual level of manipulative capability where he can at least not appear stupid to the people who like him. Gohmert's dumb even to the people who vote and support him. Vote for him and support him. I'm convinced he's an episode of Jackass. There's a very strong chance that Johnny Knoxville is going to unzip that suit and come out. Thank you, Frankie. Kevin McCarthy referred to Gohmert as Congressman COVID. Well, there's a long line of that as well. So he tests positive because he's going to be flying on Air Force One. They, of course, don't let him go to Texas. He's all mad about that. And then he announces that he has COVID and he's tested positive to his staff by calling them all together into the same room. because he's a moron. And basically giving it to his entire staff. Christ. Okay, and then this is his reasoning for why he thinks he actually got a Templeton knife. No, I can't wrap my head around it. Yeah, he did it in person. Do we have a head count so far of senators, congressmen, the COVID? I think it's under 10 that we're aware of, but a bunch of people have had to isolate, so it's hard to say. Obviously, the only ones that really stand out are the dumb ones. But yeah, this is his reasoning.
Right. So you're pushing the importance of wearing a mask once you act.
Well, and pushing the importance.
Are confirmed to have coronavirus, but it seems health experts are saying you should wear it even if you do not. Do you agree?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you don't get spittle on your face that goes straight in your nose or mouth, and if you can eliminate two of the three major mucus membranes in your face, your nose, your mouth, and your eyes, that you can actually get mucus and water into. If you can't wear goggles too, that'd be great. But a mask will definitely give you to lower your chances by 2/3. But never mind. I'm sorry, I got sensible for a second.
With that, then, to protect yourself.
There are an awful lot of people that think it's the great thing to do all the time.
Nobody wears a mask when they're not around a bunch of other people. I don't wear them in the bath. I don't wear them on the toilet. I don't wear it while I'm cooking. I don't wear it while I'm home by myself. I don't wear it in my office when I'm alone. All the time, never and always. Whenever somebody starts throwing that into their argument right out of the gate, you know that they're gaslighting, but they're also just too, well, in the case of Louie Gohmert, they're too stupid to process complex ideas. So they start painting with a broad brush. Like, you can literally hear the hammers and anvils in his head as he processes a thought.
But I can't help but think that if I hadn't been wearing a mask so much in the last 10 days or so, I really wonder if I would have gotten it. But I know
he blames the mask. That's what it was. That's what caused it. It was the mask. If I hadn't been wearing a mask, I wouldn't have. What's the rest? There's got to be another.
Moving the mask around,
Oh, it's touching it or whatever. How about this? If I'd only okay, I know I'm giving him far too much credit in this moment, but let's just say your worries are that in touching your mask all the time, you're spreading the germs. Okay, first of all, it's your fault for touching them all the time. The second one, all I could think of is, had I been wearing gloves and not touched my face so much, I might have been even more safe. I also don't understand how everybody else who was around me was doing this as well at the hearings and whatnot, and they weren't getting it. So it must be that I'm an asshole and don't wear it when I'm not in Congress where they're making me. Jesus.
Just right. I'm bound to put some virus on the mask that I sucked in. That's
Don't. Demon semen sucked it. Don't do it. I'm all right. Okay, I'm holding it together. Woo! Gonzo, can I get an autograph photo for Hal for the man cave? I insist. Go to my contact page at halsparks.com and send me an address, and I can send something to you, and let me know, something, obviously it'll be something classy, I will not have a photo of me unshorn in someplace. So there you go. I can't. Ooh. Seriously, how many people, he looks like like a congressional mugshot all the time. You know what I mean? Where you where you get busted when a congressperson gets busted for DUI. That's the look. His face always has that look on it. I can't help that think that in doing like this, and I got the demon seed on my fingers, and I sucked it right in.
Most likely what happened.
No, it's not most likely what happened, dickweed. You were messing around with your mask in Congress. What most likely happened was you were on the right side of the room with the rest of your colleagues who also think this is bullshit. None of you wore your masks outside the room. You only wore them for show in the room because the heads of the committees are enforcing the mask rule. You dope. Good God. How do you go through life just looking like the second comic relief henchman in a Disney cartoon? But if we let the cats get in there, they'll wreck the whole operation. Ooh. Oh no.
Right. So
we're not doing that. So so Trump, by the way, with a fantastic makeup job today, just blowing off the temples entirely. Thank you, Lisa Mia Moore. Speaking of looking like a drunk politician mugshot all the time, look at that. Look at the line right here. Like, how do you have this area right here? Just like don't even bother with the temple area. You got to recede, like a grown man, You got to, there's nothing wrong with having a little bit of cranium showing on the sides up there. It makes you, but why would you not put some blend it up into the hairline a little bit? I mean, it's the same orange you dip your hair in. What's the problem? Don't you just soak your head in Just for Men and pull it out? Honest to God. Look at it. I mean, I know that's the least of our worries in this situation. But just being able to massively bullshit yourself like this. And then, well, it's not all gray. He's got the yellow in it. He's going to an event, so he's got a fresh coat of whatever. But he's got that weird thing where the hair layers on the other side. See that big stripe? That's where he puts whatever he uses in his hair, and it's whatever gel he uses or whatever. It's probably mousse, since he was, sexually and emotionally arrested in 1985 as a grown-up. It's okay if you were 15, but I mean, good God. He gets a bit of the goop down in between his fingers, and when he puts it in while he's doing his own little machine thing, whatever, everybody has their habit, this gorp like that. It's Goya Sazon. Yeah, it's just butter beans. He just rubs butter beans in his hair. Scorp like that. And then he's obviously got a little too much of it catches in between his fingers, and it creates a stripe. That's what's happening. And nobody's fixing it. Nobody's touching his head after he says, no one touches my head after stage 5 or whatever. And again, I don't mind if people are... I don't care if we had a president who was a friggin' dandy. I swear to God. If somebody came out all Roger Stoned out in a derby and a monocle, if he was doing his job, I wouldn't care. But your look is indicative, as far as how put together you are and how much attention you spend on it, is indicative of what's going on in your head. If you spend a lot of time on your do and your makeup and it doesn't show, that's the problem. If you spend all morning getting ready and when you come out, you're like, shit, that person looks fabulous. They look like a dragon when they went into the bathroom and now they came out looking fantastic. I respect that to some degree. You know what your limitations are. You do some semblance of work to mitigate it and do your thing. You know what I mean? I don't mind if men wear makeup. I don't care if women wear a lot or none at all. It doesn't matter to me. But if you're going to do something, for God's sake, do it right.
You're pushing the...
This is, I got to jump to this page. Because, oh my God, it looked like you just jumped out from.
We have a lot of things going on, as you know. We're heading out to Texas right now.
Is that why you're sand color?
But Portland, let's give you a little report on Portland.
Okay, yeah, give us a little report on Portland. So things were, there were obviously, there was protests, riots, and unrest, as there often is in Portland. Portland's nuts. But after George Floyd, there was obviously renewed protests. And then your regular kind of run-of-the-mill anarchists, who don't vote on either side, by the way, were, using it as an opportunity to set fires and shit like that. And they should go to jail, and no one has a problem with that. But it was starting to quell, and then you decided to send in assholes in minivans with no markings on their outfits and snatch people off the street without reading them their Miranda rights. Now, granted, a couple of those folks look like confidential informants, even if they've been interviewed afterwards. I don't necessarily buy it. There's a big problem with Boogaloo Boys up there, and I don't doubt that some of your followers extracted some of the Boogaloo Boys from the location after they had set some fires or done some stuff by posing as military officers. So, that's neither here nor there.
We have the courthouse very well secure. Our people have done a fantastic job. You hear all sorts of reports about us leaving. We're not leaving.
Yeah, you hear all sorts of reports about us leaving. We're not leaving. We just left.
Until they've secured their city. We told the governor, we told the mayor, secure your city. If they don't secure their city soon, we have no choice. We're going to have to go in and clean it out.
I thought they were already there.
Very easily. We're all prepared to do it.
Apparently, there's an eclipse today.
Oh, in Portland,
Good shot, WhiteHouse.gov. This is the president's own photographer we're looking through right now. It's actually the best view of him I've seen in weeks.
Clean out their city and do
that's way worse. That was my apology.
Job and get rid of the anarchists and agitators, which is what they are. They're not protesters.
Yeah, there are protesters, and then there are anarchists and agitators. They're different people. I know you're not making that distinction, but I am.
They're anarchists and agitators.
There are anarchists and agitators, and there are protesters. What you do in this situation as president of the United States is you say, we're going to address the voice of the protesters because that's something we honor in this country and we think is very important. But the people who will take advantage of a protest to do other stuff, those people need to go to jail because not only do they damage public property and endanger lives, but they also negatively reflect on the people who have a legitimate thing to protest about. And we want to encourage positive protest in this country. See how easy that is? But I'm sure he'll just go to they're just all anarchists. It's all fake news.
Many in jail. Many of them have been put in jail, and it's going to be a long sentence. They either clean out their city and do it right, or we're going to have to do it for them. Okay?
See how tough he is? Super tough.
On
oh God, Steve's there.
I think maybe Steve, would you like to say something on that?
Oh, Steve would like to say something. Oh boy, would Steve.
So now we're very far apart, and because of that, the president and we have discussed a short-term extension to UI, and
we're starting to pretend that the things we want are the things the Democrats are insisting on, and they basically had this briar patch trick that they played on us, where they said we're not for the $600, so we suddenly have to, because we have no ideas of our own, we're gonna act like we do want that. Gawk.
Election, so that we have some period to negotiate.
We're going to ask for an extension of the $600 a week so that we can blow off the rest of the list and pretend that we didn't put the FBI building in there so that Trump's hotel wouldn't have any competition in Washington.
Like that. And the president,
we ought to work on the eviction so that people don't get evicted. You work on the...
Why does Steve Mnuchin look like Trump just farted on him? He's just like...
People and the rest of it.
I'm just downwind from that, and I can't go anywhere. You'd think the helicopter would clear it, but good God.
We're so far apart, we don't...
Oh, my God. Steven in the chat room, if you're going to call me an idiot, write your in the proper tense. Y-O-U apostrophe R-E. I don't know. you're not doing your Fuhrer any favors. It's embarrassing. I'm just saying.
We really don't care. We want to take care of the people.
Okay, so by the way, either you want to believe that either Trump is all of a sudden for an extension of the $600 a week and a moratorium on evictions because he found Jesus or likes it all of a sudden, or because the Democrats literally just negotiated him into a corner where they're like, yeah, we'll give that up. If they don't want to do it, it's not going to be in there. And then suddenly they're like, no, that we know we were going to blame that shit on you later on when the fiscal bill came due. We were going to make that your fault. God damn it. Okay, yes, we're for that.
Democrats aren't taking care of the people.
Oh, that's the problem. The Democrats aren't taking care of the people. You just farted on your Secretary of Treasury, and he looks like he's about to bleed out.
The payments aren't enough.
He's like, still. Ugh. Am I the only one that smells that? Christ. If it didn't smell like shit and cat food, I'd think I was having a stroke.
The payments
almonds never smelled that bad.
Aren't enough. You understand that? They're not making the payments. They're not making them high enough.
Oh, good. See? Look at that. Oh, this is awesome. So Trump is going to have to come out now and argue after this. Man, they always blow off what they say anyways. But holy smokes. The Democrats are like, yeah, we're not doing half a package. We're not doing just that. We need several things covered, including evictions. We need a comprehensive package. We're not just going to let you extend UI and pretend the rest of it works when it's bullshit. And all of a sudden, Trump is now arguing the Democratic idea. I mean, literally, over the last week, all of his attempts to try and maintain his base and his popularity have all been to absorb or claim Democratic plans. And this is Mnuchin looks like John Oliver smelled a fart. Mnuchin looks like if John Oliver looked into the Ark of the Covenant and it farted on him and he started melting.
The Democrats are not taking care of the people. Nancy Pelosi takes care of herself. But
yeah, that's what she is. Nancy Pelosi's just you're going to make this point about rich people not looking out for the little guy? Okay.
Doesn't take care of anyone else. You look at what's going on with.
Oh my God, I almost feel bad for Steve Mnuchin. Like almost.
Schumer. So when Schumer and Pelosi can get together and take care of the people, we'll do something. In the meantime, we ought to stop the victory because that expires very soon.
It expired for a lot of people 2 days ago. What do you mean very soon? Even Meadows, is that Meadows or is that? I always get him mixed up with. Yeah, that's Meadows.
Stop the evictions.
We're gonna stop the evictions, and even Mnuchin. Maybe that's the fart he smells. Like, we are? No, we're not. We don't stop evictions. We're Republicans. Are you nuts?
How do you rate Kamala Harris as a VP? There's a rumor it's going to be.
I think she'd be a fine choice, Kamala Harris. She'd be a fine choice.
Sure, you think you want to pass a short.
He thinks Kamala Harris would be a fine choice, which is his way of trying to use reverse psychology on everybody. That's right. Super exciting. Oh, man.
Are you saying you want to pass a short-term bill?
I don't hear a word you're saying.
I don't hear a word you're saying. I heard it. Meadows heard it. Mnuchin heard it. Is it because she's a woman? Do you not hear that? Maybe that's what we've discovered is Trump's ultimate problem is he just doesn't hear women's voices? Is that the problem, maybe?
You want to pass a short-term bill?
Well, we're looking at a deadline, obviously, of this Friday. The president's
Obviously. Hold on, I gotta
focused on evictions and unemployment. And if we can't reach an agreement by then, the president wants to look at giving us more time to negotiate this.
If what we're going to do is go with two things we know the Democrats want and just say we're for those, try to make you forget that we tried to get funding for the FBI building in there. And then if that doesn't work, we're going to ask for more time to not get shit done. How do you have to ask, honest to God, how do you have to ask for more time to finish a deal you don't have? Is that in the art of the deal somewhere? In the middle of the deal and making the deal, go in a corner and talk with your own people about whether or not you want to continue making the deal that you have to make or your company will go under.
We're focused on those.
Did he just...
Two things.
Oh my God, he farted on him again. Did you see that? Hold on. Wait, back up. Watch this.
We're focused on those two things. We want to take care of them now.
He just said the... Ooh.
This we can discuss later. They want big bailout money for Democrats that ran cities terribly.
That's what they want, big bailout money for Democrats.
The cities are going down to tubes. You look at Portland, you look at what's going on in Seattle. Democrat-run cities, whether you like it or not, they're terribly run. And
whether you like it or not, they're terribly run. Well, what if you like it? Right? I mean, I think that's the question. I mean, if you like it, that's a whole other... Hold on, I need...
They're always overtaxed. So they've taxed them.
They're always... That's the problem. They're overtaxed. That's why there's all this shit happening in Portland. It's the overtaxing.
Too much, and they've run them poorly. And we don't like that. And what the Democrats want are bailout funds. And what we want is we want to take care of people. And we should reward most of this country that's well run. You know, most of the country is very well run.
Yeah, most of the country doesn't produce anywhere near the economic strength of the country. Like 98% of cities don't even chart. And all the cities you're talking about are in the top 20 economies of the world on their own.
You're watching a Portland and you're watching Seattle?
Yeah, I am watching Portland, Seattle. Yeah. Portland's got a nutty history of white supremacists and weirdo activists, and it's, I mean, have you seen Portlandia? It's like a documentary. Portland's weird. So is Seattle. However, they are incredibly functional cities, though, that have an incredible impact on our economy.
You're watching New York, where they had a 400% increase in crime. 400%. My city
Unbelievable.
That I love, that I left to do this job.
What? Okay, so 400%. So if one person is shot and injured or killed, and 4 more for 5 total, that's 400%. So again, if they don't give you the actual number, the percentage means nothing.
And they had a 400% increase, and it's unacceptable. But most of the country...
Compared to what? Last year, this time, 100 years ago? I mean, what's the population per capita rate?
It's very well run, and Republican cities are very well run. And it's
yeah. Moose Knuckle, Idaho is just it's like a well-oiled machine.
Shame to reward badly run, radical left Democrats with all of this money that they're looking for cities to throw it away on cities that are poorly run.
What about the FBI? Are you confident that Russia did not place bounties on U.S. troops?
I don't.
Oh, this is the second time he's been asked.
As I told you, I've certainly read about it, and since then I've talked about it. Colin Powell says it's not true. Colin Powell's not exactly somebody that I'm a big fan of.
Does anybody know if that's true? I have not heard a quote about Colin Powell saying that that's not true.
Colin Powell says it's not true.
Okay, so he's said this a couple of times. Hang out. So let's see what he actually said. Colin Powell doubts Russian bounties, maybe? Google that, see what that comes up with. CBS Media had hysterical reaction to Russian bounty thing. Okay. This is from the New York Post. Suggests Former Secretary of State Colin Powell indicated on Thursday that media figures overreacted to a recent report the Russian official placed bounties on lives of soldiers in Canada. What I know is that our military commanders on the ground did not think it was a serious problem as the newspapers were reporting and television were reporting, Powell told MSNBC's Andrew Mitchell. It got kind of out of control before we really had an understanding of what had happened. I'm not sure we fully understand now, but Commander, U.S. Central Command General McKenzie, he did not think it was of the level of importance to us. Remember, it's not the intelligence community that's going to fight these guys. It's the guys on the ground. It's our troops. It's our commanders who are going to deal with this kind of threat using intelligence that was given to them by the intelligence community. But that has to be analyzed. It has to be attested. And then you have to go and find out who the enemy is. And I think we're on top of that one, but it almost got hysterical in the first few days. Trump has denied the bounties. The Russian bounty story is just another made-up fake news story or whatever. Let's see if I can find a picture of something real quick for you. Colin Powell, yellow cake. You get my point. Okay, so moving on.
Other people say it's not true. If it were true, I'd be very angry about it.
They said he said it needs to be looked into. He thought the media got hysterical about it and that people on the ground would do it. Now, I don't know if he still has clearance or if he just talks to his buddies and they kind of blow it off.
If you look at Russia, Russia became Russia from the Soviet Union.
Oh, kind of like how the Republicans were the Dixiecrats. They were like the Democrats until the Civil Rights Act, and then they all switched parties to become Republicans because Democrats were, in the North especially, were accepting racial integration, and they were against that, so they all became Republicans. So like that, like the Soviet Union became Russia like that?
Because of Afghanistan. They lost a fortune and a lot of people. So I don't know why they'd be doing it, but if you tell me they're doing it, I will certainly take that under consideration.
I will take it under consideration. I will, in my quarterly review, I will let the boss know. Oh, am I wearing the White House White Castle hat?
If Russia did turn out to have done that.
It's like a tiara.
How would you respond?
I would respond appropriately. Nobody has been tougher on Russia.
Yeah, you had to sign them. You had veto-proof bills put in front of you.
Nobody has been tougher on China. Nobody has been...
You said she was being completely transparent while you were signing phase 1 on a deal that the taxpayers ended up paying for.
Tougher on Iran.
By the way, you've also stopped sanctions on rich Chinese and rich Russian people who are responsible for cyber attacks on the United States. You push back against that as well. And you owe both of them almost $1 billion collectively.
Than me. And it's not even close. And
yeah, it is close. Because most of the stuff you signed in was it was passed or put into policy during the Obama administration.
Everybody knows it. Nobody's been tougher on Russia, China, or anybody else.
You forced American oil energy companies and Mexican oil companies to lower their production by collectively 350,000 barrels a day to benefit Russia and Saudi Arabia.
Than me.
Collectively, is their energy needs.
Including our allies, NATO, who I got to pay $140 billion more money. $140 billion. You know what that is?
Yeah, it's chicken shit money.
And you know why? That's to hold Russia in check. All right? I did Russia no favor. Nobody's been tougher on Russia than I have.
On NATO, you just can't...
I'm making them pay more, but we're going to give less.
To remove U.S. troops from Germany. How does that keep Russia in check?
Well, Germany's delinquent. They haven't paid their fees.
So it's it'd be a shame if something was to happen to your little country there if you pay up regularly like a greengrocer.
They haven't paid their NATO fees.
Oh my God! So America's just in the protection racket, according to Trump.
And they're way off.
Sharon, I watched a whole speech with Biden this morning, and he took questions from the press, And all of his answers were solid, material to the question that he was asked, and attached to a policy position and a plan. You should go to joebiden.com and read all of his policy papers before you start talking out of your ass like Ace Ventura.
They've been off for years, and they have no intention of paying it. And the United States has been taken advantage of.
Is it really? Because it's so we're basically just protecting those people from the Russians. So we don't care if Russia pushes into or controls the energy of all of Europe. That's not in our interests.
Trade and on military and on everything else for many years, and I'm here and I've been straightening it out. But Germany owes billions and billions of dollars to NATO. And why would we keep all of those troops there? And now Germany's saying it's bad.
Because of its location and its safety and the medical facilities available there for a lot of our troops throughout the world.
Their economy. Well, it's good for our economy. Germany is delinquent. They're at 1%. They should be at 2%. And actually, everybody should be at 4%, not 2%.
Yeah, the United States is the United States going to give 4% of their GDP to NATO? Really? 4%. We have a $22 trillion economy.
Because 2% is too low. But they're at 1%. And they've taken advantage of us for many years. And you think that's bad? They take worse advantage on trade. And I was all set to fix that, and then we got hit with the China plague.
I was going to solve it.
But we'll be fixing it. And a guy like Biden, this country wouldn't have a chance. With Biden, our country wouldn't have a chance. Go ahead.
That's a well-articulated point there. Based on what?
China, they closed our consulate in Chengdu. Are you planning a response for that move by China?
No, we'll see what happens. That's all right. We'll see what happens.
You have to understand, I'm a reactionary president. I don't start work on anything. I just answer shit. I'm a counterpuncher who always has to be punched in the face first.
Demand for FBI money? The FBI building?
So the FBI building, they've been trying to build a new building for many years, many years. They were thinking about going very far away.
Yeah, explain why, if Mnuchin, if you guys are about, we care about the individuals. It's the people we care about. The Democrats don't care about the people. We do. That's why we put a brand new FBI building in the next stimulus package.
But you have to be near the Justice Department. You know.
Yeah, it's Mark Meadows.
Want to be too far?
I always jokingly get him and Kevin McCarthy mixed up because they came from the same dispenser.
They would have to drive for an hour and a half because they had a site way out in Virginia, way out in Maryland.
Yeah, and I mean, driving. Phew.
And I said the best place is right where it is. It's the best piece of property in Washington. I'm very good at real estate.
Yeah, it's the best piece of property in Washington, which is why you don't want it to become a hotel.
So I said, we'll build a new FBI building. Let's build a new FBI building. Either a renovation of the existing, or even better would be a new building.
So we'll knock it down, and the FBI will be scattered for like 2 years, and they'll be working out of temporary spaces. Imagine the toehold Russia could get.
So we have that in the bill. It should stay. People have wanted a new FBI building now for 15 or 20 years.
15 or 20 years? Oh my God. Since the mid-2000s? Crazy.
Then Republicans should go back to school and learn. You need a new building. It's a bad building. It's a dangerous building. You have slaves.
It's dangerous. I mean,
falling off. It's not a good building. From the inside, it's a very expensive building. They need a new building, and we can do it very easily. For me, It would be very. I would make sure you build a great building at a fraction of the cost, and they can have it done quickly. So the FBI building is not new.
Yeah, it's just like his healthcare plan. It'll be that quick. I mean, honestly, you know, you're talking about some major when is that plan supposed to be launched?
Thing they've been talking about for many years. For decades. So those
TikTok, how close are you to making a decision about banning TikTok?
We're looking at TikTok. We're thinking about making
TikTok is malware.
a decision. We're going to be watching the hearings today very closely.
No, you aren't. They're happening right now.
Because there's no question.
What do you mean we're going to be watching them, sweaty lip? You know they're happening currently. They're going to be happening while you're on the plane. Not watching any of it.
The big tech companies are doing is very bad.
Let me just also add on that. 50th TikTok is under 50th review, and we'll be making a recommendation to the president on it this week.
We're going to be releasing it on the White House's TikTok page. Before you know it, we will. So
we have lots of alternatives.
Yeah, we can. We can go Snapchat. We can go Parler. I mean, there's a lot. Nobody needs TikTok per se. Is that what it's called? Nobody. I mean, the president. I like TikToks. Oh, that's it.
Do you regret tweeting about that doctor, Mr. President?
Well, hopefully it won't come to that, Matt. But in the chat room. But if it does, I'll be there handing out knee pads.
Do you regret tweeting about that doctor yesterday?
Regret what?
Stella Amanda.
Yeah. What?
Oh, the doctor. Do you wish you had not reached
I was very impressed with her and other doctors that stood with her. I think she made sense, but I know nothing about it. I just.
Yeah, that's leadership. I think she made sense and she sounded very strong. I know nothing about her. That's why I, as President of the United States, retweeted her without anybody in my staff kicking the phone out of my frigging hands. Gonzo, thank you. I'm a retired USMC disabled vet, retired state law enforcement, well-informed liberal down. Thanks, House. Well, thanks, Gonzo. My cousin is USMC as well. So he's a marshal now. We wish you well and we thank you for your service.
Her on, making a statement with very respected doctors.
How was I supposed to know? She was stuck in there with a bunch of real doctors. All I did was bend over and say, whichever finger, make sure your nails are clipped.
Not alone. She was making a statement about.
Yeah, and everybody else with her was just as wacko.
Hydroxychloroquine with other doctors that swear by it. They think it's great.
No, they don't. And they also swear by there's alien DNA in vaccines and demon sperm is the cause of endometriosis.
So she was not alone. Fake news CNN made it like, oh, I said this, I said that. She was with a whole group of people. And you ought to tell your network, the reason their ratings is so bad is because the coverage is so false. If CNN would be honest, and that goes for MSDNC also, but your network.
Did he do the MSDNC? I was reading something. It's adorable. It's almost like a throwback to early days Sarah Palin.
Be honest, and that goes for MSDNC also.
Yeah, okay.
But your network is so dishonest in its coverage on just about everything. And there's an example. I was very impressed.
He's doing his weird like stop asking me questions, body language, point, shut up. Yeah. The MSCNC Music Factory. I got the power and over on the side, Mnuchin.
By her, know nothing about her.
I had nothing about her. I don't know this woman. I never even saw these assholes before. But I did retweet her from my personal account.
Seen her before. But certainly you could put her up and let her have a voice.
Yeah, you could also do that with that asshole who thinks you drink like miracle water and that'll improve your finances because Jesus says. And?
What they did is they took down their voice. Now.
Yeah, they took down their voice because she said there was a cure already, that masks don't work, and you're a fucking idiot.
They seem to never take down the other side.
There is no other side. The other side is reality. It can't be taken down. What? You mean Fauci?
They only take down conservative voices. It's a shame. And with hydroxy?
That's not conservative or liberal. That's like Batman and Batshit. You understand? There's like one of them's on your side, and it isn't the guano.
All I want to do is save lives. I don't care if it's hydroxy or anything else.
Well, if you want to just save lives, then maybe don't retweet the account as President of the United States, whose voice is heard worldwide, that demon semen is what causes endometriosis and cysts in your fallopian tubes and molar pregnancies, you moron.
All I want to do is save lives.
All I want to do is save lives. Well, that's pretty much your only job right now, dipshit. And you're a little behind the curve, considering you have sat on the deaths of more Americans than have died in the last 3 wars.
Save lives, that's great. Now, one thing, we're doing very well on vaccines.
Are we? You mean the part where you skipped the middle section where you tested safety and efficacy? Is that because Russia stole vaccine information and they're going to be releasing their vaccine in 2 weeks?
And very well on Therapeutics. So that's very important.
Is it true, though? Does it have any merit? I mean, you can say it, but why are your temples so white?
I happen to be a believer in hydroxy. I used it.
Why?
I had no problem. I happen to be a believer.
Yeah, you were on constant, you're under constant supervision by your doctor. You wear a shirt that lets them know if you have a heart arrhythmia.
Many, many people agree with me.
Thanks.
A great test just came out from the Ford Clinic in Michigan, very respected. We'll see how it is.
Have you decided how you're going to give your convention acceptance speech yet?
Well, I'm thinking about it, but we're picking a location fairly soon. We'll let you know.
It won't be here at the White House. It's somewhere in the...
It might be. It's something we're thinking about.
So back to Germany. Are those troops, what signal does it send for Russia? Because those troops were always there to defend Europe against Russia.
You're right. They're there to protect Europe. They're there to protect Germany.
Oh, yeah, he does have something in his teeth, doesn't he?
Right? And Germany is supposed to pay for it. Germany's...
No, they're not. We all share the cost, and it's spread out over multiple countries.
Not paying for it.
It's not a one-to-one, dickhead.
So what?
They're not paying protection.
Should we leave them if there were...
Otherwise, why wouldn't we just... Oh, shit, I think I just stumbled in on something. But Trump's... Basically, one of the reasons why you don't pay protection is all I got to do is threaten you with the other guy. Well, who's to say that I'm not working with the other guy to make the threat appear? Like I can go, hey, you know, have a guy come in, wreck your shop. And then I come in a week later going, I don't know that guy, but if you hire me, I'll keep him at bay. And then you find out later that I'm working with that dude. I created the threat that I'm getting rid of. I mean, that's the issue with it.
We don't want to be the suckers anymore. The United States has been taken advantage of for 25 years, both on trade and on the military. We're protecting Germany, so we're reducing the force because they're not paying their bills. It's very simple. They're delinquent. Very simple. And there are other NATO countries also. Right now you have 8 out of the 28 countries that are paid up. I got them to pay $130 billion a year more, going up to 400. Most of them will be up to date. Wasn't easy, but most of them will be up to date. The one that won't be up to date is Germany. And we spend a lot of money on Germany. They take advantage of us.
We don't spend it on that. We have a military hospital there that has treated so many of our soldiers who come back from Iraq and Afghanistan and other theaters of war across the world. It's one of the first stops they go to. It's crucial because of its geography.
Trade.
He has no idea.
And they take advantage of the military. So we're reducing the force. Now, if they start paying their bills,
then maybe we'll stop Russia from coming in. But, you know, they're going to need to lose a couple of thousand of their citizens. I mean, it's not like Russia just had some assassins come in and kill people on on German soil recently.
We think about it. I would think about it differently.
I would think about it. You don't think about anything. Thinking is beyond your capability.
We talked to Putin about a lot of different things, mostly arms control. We're working on...
Wait a minute. Hold on. I thought he didn't talk about what they talk about. Didn't he just say, I don't discuss what we talk about?
Vaccine, I think we'll have one.
Yes, he does sound, he's got acid reflux right now. Trump does not equal Hitler. It's not the same thing. It's an important distinction to make. And we're lucky to some degree that he's not Hitler, because Hitler actually, as much of a failure and a psychopath and a disgusting human being as he was, he had a sort of raison d'etre that made him get up in the morning that Trump doesn't have. We're kind of lucky that Trump is a misguided second generation rich kid.
Very well. Pfizer's doing very well. We have a lot of good options.
President Russia is trying to steal information about a vaccine from researchers. Did you talk to them about that?
You're going to have to talk that. I can hear everybody but you.
Can you come right here?
You can hear everybody but you.
I can hear everybody but you. Everybody else can hear.
On arms control.
No, he did not actually write a book. Trump did not write a book.
To make progress, are there going to be formal negotiations?
Yeah, there already are. We're in formal negotiations with Russia on arms control.
What about bringing China in?
On nuclear arms control.
What about bringing China in?
Talk about that later. We're going to work this first.
We had a treaty with them, and you let it expire.
China right now is a much lesser nuclear power. You understand?
Look at that. What is? I mean, you're not even getting to the edge of your jaw, dude. Like, I can almost understand you like ducking when she gets near your hairline. But look at that one spot right there, which is just totally just. There's like an edge. It's like a straight up. You just missed. It's like he was wearing these kind of headphones, like the bone conductors, when they sprayed him, and then he took them off. But like it goes straight down here, and then it gets the front of the jowls, which are very frog-like and tucked right now. That's not happening. Loosen your tie, dude. You're living under the estimation that your neck is smaller than you think it is. Right now, I am sweating, and snot is coming out of my nose and going straight down my face, over my lips as I speak, and down my chin.
We are the great nuclear power.
Ugh. And is he balding right that part? Or is that just matted down? And then there's the big fender over top of it? Or is it operate in, do they put it on in stages? Kind of like a well-layered croissant?
Upgraded our nuclear.
This is not a turkey neck. A turkey neck is skinny to some degree. It's just loose skin. This is a bullfrog neck.
Tremendously thin. We have the most power. Russia.
We have the most power to kill people.
Second, and China is.
And while we're stacking nukes, China's making all the solar panels, and Japan and France are making all the nuclear facilities.
China.
He does, Lisa. He looks like he has a big fender on his head. Am I not mistaken? Look at it.
It's surging. They'll be there at some point. And yeah, we would want to talk to China eventually.
Why not as part of a trilateral negotiation? Finding out what we
thought that we would do it first. I don't know if it's going to work out.
Yeah, that's pretty much, that's the slogan. Trump pens 2020. I don't know if it's going to work out.
We would do it first, and then we go to China.
Night test.
Which I think worked out probably.
Did you talk to O'Brien? Did you talk to Robert O'Brien?
I did. I wished him well. I haven't seen him in a while. But he went on vacation. He came back. He wasn't well. Tested positive. He's doing very, very well.
Why haven't you seen him?
Well, you just... Was that 4 contradictions or just 3? I forget. Are we rotating backwards or what?
Said he's doing very well. I spoke to him yesterday.
Mr. President, are you concerned about reports that a lot of Americans wouldn't accept the vaccine? And what can the administration?
No, I'm not concerned. Well, I'm a therapeutic person too. You know.
I'm a therapeutic person. If only you had been in therapy, we would be so much better off as a country.
I love the idea of therapeutics where
I love the idea of therapeutics. You do realize reality isn't it's not based on your opinion. Stuff comes along and either works or it doesn't. And the therapeutics that are working right now, remdesivir, dexamethasone, and beta interferon, one came from South Korea and two came from the UK. None of them have come out of the United States. No, like we came up with proning, which is not a bad idea. It's a good technique, but we're the ones that figured out people should, when they're on ventilators, lay on their stomachs, and they have a better chance of surviving this. That's not a therapeutic, though. Nobody's going to go to the hospital with breathing problems. They're going to go home and lay on your belly.
You go in, you give somebody a transfusion or a shot, and they get better. I am a big
transfusion or a shot, and they get better. Just, like the end of Outbreak. Because in his mind, everything works like a film. Sorry, film.
But we're doing very well on vaccines and therapeutics, okay?
Based on what?
And as far as Portland is concerned...
Oh, we're going back to Portland. That would apparently bullshitting about vaccines is not a good enough closer for him. By the way, I love the security dude or the congressional staffer in the back there who's currently modeling a VEC mask for I'm guessing I don't know, would that be the H&M suit line? Something like that? It's just kind of like, honest to God, I half expect him to be catching a football wearing khaki shorts.
We've taken a very strong stand.
Hair by COVID.
They are anarchists. They're radical, crazy people.
Radical crazy people, which are, I prefer centrist crazy people myself. Moderate crazy people, like Gary Busey.
And
hey, I'm not crazy. I can just read special. I hear voices that you would hear if you could just clear the shit out of your ears, buddy.
They're either going to straighten it out for themselves, Portland, the police, and maybe if the state gets involved, that means the governor and the mayor. But they're very weak people.
Are we in a time loop?
Very weak people.
They're weak people. They're just weak. That's their problem.
These radicals, these anarchists are controlling the governor and this mayor. The mayor went into a rally. It wasn't accurately reported by CNN, by NBC. The mayor went into a rally.
Oh, he must be mad. He didn't slow down to say MSDNC.
He thought he'd be their buddy. They excoriated him. What they did to him was incredible. Lucky he had 5 bodyguards, but they excoriated him. NBC, I didn't see CNN because I don't watch CNN.
Apparently, you don't watch CNN. Well, then how would you know that Don Lemon is the most unintelligent and untalented person on the planet? Just grapevine?
NBC, absolute.
Who tested positive? Robert O'Brien is SEC deaf, and Louie Gohmert.
Covered it like he was their big buddy. No, he was in great danger of dying.
He was in great danger of dying.
Been dead if he didn't have his bodyguard. These are bad people. These are anarchists. They're agitators.
Yeah, and they don't vote. The people you're talking about in Portland come out after midnight, after the peaceful protests have all gone home, and people get ready to get up the next morning, and they try to set fires and all that kind of shit. They're not going to vote. They're not Democrats. They're not Republicans. They're closer to the left version of sovereign citizens than anything else. But I mean, they think Biden's the Antichrist too. They hate you both. Arrest them if they set fires. If they just run around in black Antifa outfits or something as LARPers, then who cares? But the minute they chuck a battery or a frozen bottle of water at a cop, lock them up. Who cares? It's vandalism. It's assault. That's normal. We have a society. But understand, that starts after midnight in Portland. Before that, protesters are out on the street and they have a legitimate grievance. And it would probably work to your favor if you occasionally addressed the protester part of things instead of fixating on the rock throwers and the arsonists, because I'm beginning to think you would rather conflate those folks with the complaint about the protesters who are angry about the death of George Floyd and others, and mix them into the same thing to use them as a black mobs are coming for the suburbs kind of a re-election strategy. But I don't know where I'd get that idea.
And either they do something or we're going to do it. In the meantime,
That's probably true. Either they're going to do something or he's going to do something. But something will be done, because doing nothing is very difficult.
Purpose there is only to protect our federal buildings, which we're doing with no problem.
With no problems. Well, except the part where they're peeling back the plywood and dropping incendiary devices and the 2 IEDs that were thrown in. But yeah, very little problems.
I mean, they're nasty and they're vicious people, but our people are very powerful people.
They're very powerful. They're just sweaty and bulging. Yeah. No. Yeah, not it. Hold on one second. I don't know why this thing slides back all the time. I have to figure out how to deal with that. It's very strange. But, you know.
Powerful. And either they're going to clean up Portland soon, or the federal government is going up, and we're going to do it for them. So either they clean out Portland, the governor and the mayor, who are weak. Either they clean out Portland, or we're going in to do it for them. Okay, thank you very much.
He's got... he needs to... if they don't clean up Portland, we're going in. You were just there, and it got worse when you were there, and you're leaving because it didn't help. It made things worse. Literally the number of people on the streets doing stuff made it worse. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not under the illusion you actually came there to help. You want it to ratchet up. You want it to be an overreach, because that will cause that's an instigation, and you know that. I don't live under the illusion that you actually meant to help. But let's not kid ourselves that you want the like lone white kid dressed all in black who'd be a school shooter if he could just get his hands on a gun to be associated with legit BLM protesters. Bye. I'm sick of this. I'm going to the airplane to go to Texas where they like me, where I can be brought on stage in front of well, hello. You know, a lot of people don't think they can make money in real estate. Sorry, I don't know who this guy is, but that's the first thing I think. Today we're going to teach you how. Have you ever thought that there might be oil under your house, but you can't put in a pump without evicting your children? Well, now there's a new way.
The 45th President of the United States, President Donald J. Trump.
That's a nice introduction. I don't know why his mic is off.
American, where my big gooby boo, and you fleagle do, you boogie do.
Is he going to wander back and forth for a whole verse? Nah, too hot. So he's in Texas. That thing says rig 43. He's on rig 43. Isn't that Bush's number? Texas State, Bush's number. Yeah, you think? You think? Maybe? Yeah.
Did, Cody. He was wealthier 4 months ago, but he'll be up there very soon.
He was wealthier 4 months ago, but he'll be up there soon. Why? Because you cut U.S. production to benefit Russia and Saudi Arabia, and you opened up drilling in Anwar. You do realize these Texas oil rig workers don't want to relocate to the fucking Arctic Circle, right? You do realize that? Yeah?
He's doing good. Come on, sit down, please.
Come on, get in here. Because, you guys, it's hot. And I got all these empty barrels behind me with stickers on them, stopping the breeze. That was fun.
And I really am. I'm thrilled to be here in Midland, Texas, with the extraordinary men and women of Double Eagle Energy. And what a nice welcome. Thank you very much. A lot of big, beautiful rings behind me.
One of those big, beautiful rigs. It's a glorious rig. I prefer a rig to a tree any day. You know, there used to be a field here, and now it's been replaced with something glorious. And, you know, and at least you don't have any windmills killing all the birds and giving everybody cancer. I don't know that his mic is on. It's super quiet. I'm afraid they're gonna, let's see. They do something.
In record time.
There we go. Somebody was.
And rapid point of care testing system.
Yeah, something was going on with his microphone. Yeah, because people in the chat, if you look, hold on one second. If you look, they're yelling, "Fix the sound! Fix the sound!" Rex is very upset. He can't hear him. Tell you what, Rex, I've been watching this bullshit every day for 3 months now. I'm pretty sure I can tell you exactly what he's going to say.
Statewide, the percent of patients testing positive has stabilized and the number of new cases has begun to substantially
No, it hasn't.
decline.
No, it hasn't.
Texans must remain vigilant. To protect our seniors, my administration has deployed personal protective equipment to every Medicare and Medicaid nursing home in your state. No matter where you go, they have it. This week, Texas hospitals are receiving 500 cases of antiviral treatment, remdesivir. It's been very, very successful.
Wait a minute. Texas is receiving 500 cases of remdesivir? Because that's all of it. We bought the last of it.
Of antiviral.
Hold on.
In your state, no matter where you go, they have it.
It's a dust storm.
This week, Texas hospitals are receiving 500 cases of antiviral treatment, remdesivir. It's been very, very successful. Enough to treat 3,200 patients.
You guys remember this. He brought this up yesterday or the day before. That's all of it. That's the remdesivir takes a long time to make. So basically, he's losing. His internal polls telling him he's winning everywhere. But all of a sudden, he's dropping off all the remdesivir in the country for Texas because he's behind a point there, a state he won by 9 points last time. Christ.
Under my administration's Operation Warp Speed.
Oh, Operation Warp Speed. Hold on.
Captain's log.
All right.
We're developing vaccines in record time.
Yeah, you're just removing the safety catches.
Earlier this week.
We're going to get, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for flying Trump Air. We're going to get off the ground in a couple of seconds. We'd like to, there'll be drinks served throughout, Trump wine, Trump water. Either one of them's fine. They both taste the same and have the same alcohol content. But you know, apparently one of our mechanics is telling us that the wheels are loose and one of our wings is tilted and the ailerons don't work. And the windows are fogged up, but we're in a hurry to get out of here. So we're just going to blow that off and get in the air because one of the things we are, if not anything, is we take off on time. We might hit a mountain or two, but we get out of here when we say we're going to. Okay, so sit back, start screaming, and enjoy the flight. Click.
Promising vaccine entered the final stage of clinical trials long ahead of schedule.
There is no schedule.
More following very quickly behind. We have some of the greatest companies, labs in the world doing.
If you're rushing one, what if there's a bunch following behind? Why would you need other ones following behind if it's meeting all the criterion for? All right.
This is the fastest a vaccine.
Thank you, Jill Carter. Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, August 22nd, Sexy Liberals, episode 3. The third show is now on sale at sexyliberal.com if you want to see the show. I'll be working on a bunch of bits for that right away. I always say I'm going to get a lead up, but I think there's a couple pieces I can work on that'll still be relevant considering the repetition of this particular goofball.
Has ever been developed.
Yeah, that It doesn't work yet. And if it doesn't work, basically, it's going to be your fault for rushing it, not anyone else's. The scientists are like, this is going to take 9 to 12 months minimum. And you're like, no, we need this faster. If it doesn't work and people die, it's 100% on the president.
Together we will end the plague from China. We will defeat the virus. I want to thank everyone at Double Eagle Energy for hosting us today, including co-founders, two great, young, smart people, Cody Campbell and John Sellers. Thank you, Cody. Thank you, John. Thank you, fellas. Good job.
Wait, they started a new oil company recently? Nice timing, guys.
Thanks also to Interior Secretary David Bernhardt. David, thank you. Energy Secretary Dan Broilette. Texas has really kept him very busy. Where's Dan? You've been kept very busy. Very busy. A great senator and a great friend of mine, Senator Ted Cruz. Ted, thank you.
Uh-huh.
He's out there fighting for you, I want to tell you. Thank you.
He's certainly not out there thinking for you.
Representatives, and these are friends of mine and they're warriors, Jody Arrington and Mike Conaway. Thank you, fellas. Thank you. Thank you. Great job.
So good.
A very, very special man and a very special talent, and Governor Greg Abbott. Thank you. Thank you, Greg. Great job you're doing. And he's working hard, and you're doing a fantastic job. Our people are working together, and you're getting everything you need. So, good. Thank you for doing such a good job. And thank also Dan Patrick.
His cases are spiking.
Your Lieutenant Governor, my friend.
Good God. And we got, we're going to crack 40 today in Twitch. I just know it. Send out some love. Let them know.
Thank you very much, Dan. Great help. Great team. No better team in the country. Thank you. Midland County Judge Terry Johnson. Thank you, Terry. Thank you. Your former governor, a great man, a friend of mine, Secretary of Energy Rick Perry. Nobody did a better job than my Rick. Thank you.
Yeah, that's not even close to true.
Rick.
Even Texans don't think that. Should we go to the Rick Perry odd drunk moments?
So many other distinguished guests and local leaders, and we just want to thank you all for being here. Thank you all very much. Great honor. Thank you very much for being here.
It says say thank you in the teleprompter. You know, teleprompter, those things that weak people use.
Under the last administration.
Let me start off by saying none of this is my fault.
America's energy industry was under relentless and unceasing attack, you know.
We became a net producer of energy under the Obama administration.
But the day I took the oath of office, we ended the war on American energy and we stopped the far left assault on American energy workers.
You do know when fracking actually started, right?
Now the assault, you've seen what's going on.
Or salt, pepper. Cumin. It's also a good spice to put on your oil.
Going on, it could come again, but I have a very strong feeling you're not going to have to worry about it. If you do, you're in big, big trouble.
Yeah, what I mean is Biden. See what I mean? Because he's going to roll in here and ruin energy.
The one side
with all those damn windmills that give you cancer.
Energy destroying Paris Climate Accord. It was a disaster. Because
gee, you think oil producers are clapping when you make fun of the Paris Accord? What a shock. Thanks, Todd.
Billions of dollars, and it would have made us a non-competitive nation.
No, the whole point was to make us competitive on the energy of tomorrow. Would be the thing. You see?
We canceled the Obama administration's job-crushing clean power plan. You know all about that.
The job-crushing clean power plan. That's a hill to die on.
I approved the Keystone XL and the Dakota Access pipelines immediately.
Yeah, because who needs clean aquifers?
Upon assuming office, we opened up Anwar in Alaska to energy exploration.
Because Texas oil producers, that's what you need. Federal lands producing oils that you can compete with, along with foreign countries.
Ended the moratorium.
Oh, we hit 40 and we almost did. Yeah.
On coal leasing.
We have 40 in Twitch. That's
lands,
fantastic.
And reopened public lands and offshore areas to oil and gas exploration. That's what.
Fantastic. You know, because we're not producing too much oil enough.
David Bernhardt's done such a great job. Thanks, David. We unlock the full energy potential of Texas and New Mexico. And New Mexico, we're proud that we've been here. We're proud to help.
This dude would squeeze oil out of bald eagles if he could.
You have been fantastic. A lot of jobs.
15.2. Sweet.
And since my election, oil and gas production in the...
I love the fact that, by the way, I open up this whole show. This is all inside baseball, of course. But on Facebook, one of the favorite refrains that is used as a constant insult is, who are you? Why should I listen to you? You don't have to. You came to my page, asshole. And you know how I know that? Because I have 2 million views on YouTube in just the last 2 weeks. 2 million. See what I mean? Like, in 2 weeks. So, you don't have to believe that the people who are watching me have any sense at all. But you have to understand that the algorithm doesn't give a shit if you like me, and the numbers I'm getting from Facebook tell me that quite a few people actually are curious what I have to say about stuff. And largely it's because I'm here day after day, and I'm consistent in my rebuttals of this bullshit, and I'm not talking out of my ass like you are.
Permian Basin.
Why should I listen to you when my friends don't even talk to me anymore? Well, it's okay. Touché.
Has more than doubled.
Great. We're doubling the amount of oil we're producing. Terrific. Are we doubling the amount of asthma patients in the country as well?
Under the Trump administration, the United States has increased oil
The United Stays.
production by...
That's what we are right now. We're the United Stays at home.
3.1 million barrels per day. That's some number.
It is some number. Yep. It's a number, sure.
Never been anything.
What is this? What are you doing with this all this later? Oh, yeah.
Like that number. For the first time in nearly 70 years.
Look at that. We crested over 41 in because I only see the Streamlabs number. It's actually bigger on Twitch, but I only see that number, and that's the one I use as a marker. Look at that. Welcome aboard, Twitch. You guys are getting it together. Subscribe, you bastards.
We have become a net energy exporter.
We already were. We already were. We've been a net exporter of oil and gas for 9 years.
And the United States is now the #1 producer of oil and natural gas on the face of the earth.
Yeah, that's like being the last guy on the corner to sell like weed when meth has moved in. You're patting yourself on the back, going, I bought all this fentanyl, I'm going to pass it out. You're like, literally, the United States is still #1 in vacuum tube television sets.
We maintain this dominant position.
We sell more vacuum tube television sets than anyone else in the world.
Long into the future, we will.
Honestly, I mean, is that not what he's basically bragging about? That we're a net exporter of and the biggest producer of an energy technology that the rest of the world can't wait to put in the rearview mirror.
Never lose this position. My administration is announcing today
50, all right.
that export authorizations for American liquefied natural gas,
which is not to be confused with,
can now be extended through the year 2050. Mr. Governor, is that long enough? Okay, 2050, that seems like a long time.
Isn't it? But yeah.
Let's make it longer.
Why not? Yeah, let's not in the next 30 years come up with a technology that puts oil out of business. Let's hope no one invents anything that could replace oil in the next 30 years. It's like a dream come true. Maybe if we keep COVID, we could just fight that forever, and maybe another disease won't come along. We can just spend all our time on this one.
At the same time, we're strongly protecting our environment. Air pollution is down significantly.
Because everybody's staying home and no one's driving.
I took office. While other countries are polluting the world's air and oceans, we will never cease to be a leader in protecting our natural environment. And
that's why you're drilling in Anwar and on federal land and in parks.
What's happening? People don't know that about us. We love our environment.
Yeah, we love wildlife, so we can shoot it from a helicopter.
Under my administration, the United States will continue to have among the cleanest.
He laughs every so often when he makes a joke that he thinks is an insight about, wouldn't it be great if it was even better than that, and wouldn't you like that? He does that all the time.
Air and cleanest water anywhere on Earth, and that's what we have.
That's not true. Seriously, it's not even close. There are no Flint, Michigans in the Netherlands. They don't have a lead problem in their water anywhere in France, in Belgium, in Spain, I don't think even.
Thanks to our pro-American energy policies, we're also taking jobs and factories away from countries with poor environmental standards such as China and bringing jobs back to America where they belong.
Where we can make highly toxic chemicals and technologies right here at home, just upriver. Bring in all those rare earth minerals we have to process with mercury and arsenic. I'm sure the companies that do it will find a proper way to dispose of them. It only costs them $100,000 a barrel to get rid of it, but they can dump it in the ocean for just a $23,000 fine a day, as much as they want.
Before the invisible enemy struck our shores, we...
The invisible enemy, we're back to that one.
...created...
It's an oldie but a goodie.
800,000 new energy jobs, a third of them in Texas. That was just the new jobs. Add on to that millions of other jobs. After
just make it up.
The China virus struck, we implemented historic economic relief.
Relief? You mean what the Congress passed? That doubled what you asked for?
When oil crashed, I got Saudi Arabia, Russia, and others to cut nearly 10 million barrels a day, and got OPEC Plus and Mexico to agree to the deal, and hence we're okay now. We're back.
Yeah, it benefits that industry that you're standing in front of, but the rest of us would have had 45 cent a gallon gas. Can you imagine what that would have done for transportation? For people starting businesses that required energy? Literally, you're just tipping your friends. What a pile of bullshit.
And I will tell you, and I can tell you that I spoke with Dan and Greg, and I spoke with Senator Ted Cruz, I spoke with a lot of people.
Yeah, Vladimir Putin.
And
MBS.
We were very close to losing a very powerful, great industry.
Guess what? That industry is going to vanish at some point. If we could supersede it and get rid of it by replacing it with something more valuable, it would be worthwhile. You could focus on that, but if you'd have just let it crash naturally, what was all this free market bullshit we were always hearing about? I thought the market determined it. If you got too much of something and you dump it on the market and the price goes down, that's your ass. Why is the government intervening? You think there was a glut of Christmas toys? They'd call friggin' Target and Walmart and create some sort of we need to have a summit. Everybody needs to stop production on Cabbage Patch Kids. You dump this shit on the ground, and everybody's going to get it for free.
And
honest to God, this is market manipulation. This isn't impressive. If they don't have the sense to pull back production of their own, or because it is a consumable, you know. So a bunch of these assholes dump all their oil, and you go, you know what? We're billionaires. Let's hang back for a second. We'll continue production. We're going to roll it back, and we're going to spend most of our money on repairing the rigs, making sure they work. We're going to ride out this glut, and then when everybody else has got to pull their pumps back, we'll go back to even and make more money because they're going to burn out what they've got. Their reserves are going to be gone.
We did a great job all together, working together.
To make sure that gas never drops below $2 a gallon.
Job like I think nobody could have done.
314, that's awesome. 314 patrons, that's amazing. You guys are awesome. Thank you. We're getting close. I remember when we had 6. I remember when we hit 100. I was amazed. We're gonna hit that 500 mark. I feel it. Hopefully by the end of summer. Fingers crossed. I'm talking to you, Steph Heads. You're already on there to support her show. Come on, a cup of coffee. You could do it. You got an account. Your information's already in there. Just do it. Help us out, for God's sake. I'm trying to get a producer on this show so I don't have to do everything myself. My thumb hurts.
And now we're back, and now we're just...
What the heck? Oh, my headphones died. That's fun. Got to turn them back on. You're welcome.
To keep expanding. It's going to see. You will see it's happening, but we really did. We did a great job. And I want to thank, frankly, Saudi Arabia. I want to thank Russia. I want to thank Mexico. And I want to thank OPEC, as they call it, plus. It's called OPEC.
Oh, is it called OPEC Plus? Is that what it's called? Because you just called it that? Nonsense.
Plus. That's OPEC plus a lot of other countries.
That's how they write it. Is that the official? Is that what's on documents? Make sure they put the whole thing, OPEC plus a whole lot of other countries.
But they all came together and they did a job on the industry. And
I do need a tech as well, it's true.
Yeah, we appreciate everybody's help. This action stabilized world oil prices that had been in a free fall and saved millions of energy jobs and
billions of energy jobs. Billions of energy jobs? How many friggin' people does he think work in oil and gas in the United States? Billions of energy jobs?
What? Saved your industry. 4 months ago, people were very...
Sweet, Thea. We'll talk.
Very concerned about that industry. And now it's just going to be a question of how fast will you put people on. Through the Paycheck Protection Program, we provided over...
And by we, mean the entire U.S. government. It passed unanimously through the Senate. And, well, I think Rand Paul held out because, you know, why would Kentuckians need any help?
$1 billion in emergency aid to keep Texas energy workers on the payroll. We kept them all on the payroll. We opened...
Even if they're making nothing, it's fantastic. It's just wonderful.
30 million barrels of space and strategic petroleum reserve, allowing American companies to store...
Wait. How we're keeping space in the strategic reserve? Is Space Force just swimming around in an underground tank in Texas?
We provided over $1 billion in emergency aid to keep Texas energy workers on the payroll. We kept them all on the payroll. We opened up 30 million barrels of space and strategic petroleum reserve, allowing American companies to store surplus oil to be sold at a later time.
Yeah, for free. So you get that. Okay. So, Hertz is going through a bad time right now. So is Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Do they get to park their cars on government land until such time as they can rent them out again? Does the government put tenants in your buildings or pay rent for your buildings if you have an apartment or an office building until such time as you can rent it out to a person who... Oh, thanks, Gonzo, for getting the sexy liberal ticket. That's great. What other industry benefits like this? Seriously. Explain this to me. What other industry does the American government, under Donald Trump, because this doesn't happen elsewhere, I guess, are we going with the farmers' idea that the government cheese, dairy products, and the like, that we're going to keep those for you? Except oil doesn't rot, so it does not need to be brought out of the ground like corn and wheat. It has to be grown in cycles, right? So what other, I mean, if you're in real estate, you don't get a benefit like this. The government isn't going to be your tenant until the price goes up for the rent you want. Seriously. This is batshit. And again, it's oil, it doesn't spoil.
And we filled up our 75 million barrels in the strategic reserve. And Dan, you've done a fantastic.
Yeah, you waited till the price went up and we paid for it. We paid for that gas. We could have had companies and other countries paying us $23 a barrel to put it in the reserve. Do you understand what I'm saying? The U.S. government could have filled our strategic reserves, and other countries and companies would have paid us $23 a barrel to put it there. Oil we keep forever to use in case of emergency, but we didn't. We filled it with the oil from our own companies, letting them park it there for free, and then the leftover we purchased at a cost, allegedly from them, artificially bringing the price up. What part of, good God, what part of art of the deal is this?
Thank you very much. I only wish he bought it when the oil was selling for $0 and they paid you $37 in addition.
Yeah, I know. Why didn't you do that?
You get a barrel plus 37. I said, Dan, why didn't you make that?
Yeah, because you guys are dumbasses.
I would have loved that.
Yeah, then why didn't you order him to do it?
But you did well. Thank
you. He had weeks.
Very much. Today I'm taking another bold action to...
If we don't get the absolute bottom price, I want to pay retail somehow.
Support energy jobs in Texas. In a few moments, I will sign 4 critical permits granting approval to vital pipeline and railway infrastructure on our nation's border. That's a big deal. This will...
Pipelines and railways on the border?
Include 2 permits allowing the export of Texas crude to Mexico, a giant victory for the workers of the state that you've been after for many years.
They're able to sell it to Mexico. What are you talking about?
You've been after that one for many years. I said, what do I know about it? If you want to do it, it's okay with me.
It's just going to kill a bunch of people and poison the water, but who cares?
And we're doing it, so that's been a long time in the making. We're joined today.
The cartels really love it.
Some of the incredible patriots of the Texas oil.
Yet another thing right at the border that they can charge protection money to the Mexican government for.
Gas industry, who are benefiting from America's energy boom. Josh Ginn was born and raised right here in Odessa and Midland. Where's Josh? Thank you, Josh. After spending a few years away at school, Josh came back home to West Texas. Josh's dad worked on the oil rigs. Josh worked on the oil rigs, and he hopes his 3 children...
Down in the West Texas town of El Paso, I fell in love with a barrel of crude.
...work one day doing the same kind of incredible work and looking for the wonderful opportunities in American energy. Josh, thank you very much. Congratulate your family. You're going to have a great future. Thank you. Appreciate it.
I'm going to guess his goal isn't for his kids to work on a rig. I mean, it's not a bad job to have, and there's a lot to it, but it's not the aspirational job that you want for your kids. A lot of blue-collar people respect the job that they have and want and glad they help raise kids, but what they're hoping for is that they don't have to do the manual labor part of it for very long. But you also believe that certain people are genetically predisposed to manual labor.
Brian Welch spent 5 years in the Army, supporting our victory in the Gulf War. Then he became, hello, Brian.
We support Brian. I'm like, these little stories and anecdotes have nothing. You know.
Thank you, Brian. Then he became an energy worker. Did you make the right move, Brian? I think so, right? Better believe it. With over 25 years of experience, Brian is senior pumper with Double Eagle Energy. Do they treat you well? They better. I'm going to come back and see those two guys. Just like thousands of other veterans who work in this industry, Brian has made America safer with his service, and now he's helping keep us secure by maintaining American.
Thank you, Heather. Yeah, we'll see what happens.
We have. Thank you very much, Brian. Great job.
Yeah, everybody's like, this company's going under.
And every veteran who works in the American energy sector, we salute your noble service, and we thank you very much. We thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
This is from the guy, by the way, who was going to disown Don Jr. because Don Jr. was flirting with going into the military at one point.
While my administration is fighting for workers like you, the radical left, have you ever heard of the radical left, Brian? You don't want to hear about them.
You know, this thing, it's a phrase I made up.
I want to know about them. Is fighting to abolish American energy, destroy the oil.
No, we're not. Well, I'm not radical left. I don't know. Like, that doesn't even fit me. I don't know who the hell he's talking about, actually. But if he means like bird-killing, cancer-causing windmills and solar panels because we want to mitigate the amount of fossil fuels until we come up with a better... Because, I mean, I'm a thorium reactor kind of a guy. And personal home solar panels. Like, I think that's the plan. Geothermal, if you live in an area where it has it. That's great.
Gas industries and wipe out...
When I enact my plan to create my mountain lair in Montana that's run completely off of volcano power or something that's, you know, by piping lava down in the, you know, heat from the lava down in the earth, then we'll talk.
Your jobs. Washington Democrats have embraced Representative...
They've embraced?
Ocasio-Cortez's nearly $100 trillion Green New Deal disaster. I've added the fourth word. It's a disaster, which would ban oil and gas leasing on all federal lands.
Yeah, right. By the way, none of these guys you're talking to have, that rig isn't on federal land. It's private land. They purchased the land. It's theirs. They own the complete rights to it. They don't have to share that. The federal government gets a piece of when you drill on federal land, but it's minor. But it's still a chip away in the profit so that if you have a fluctuation like you did in the market, it's meaningful. You'd rather own the land, purchase it. I mean, that's what oil speculation's all about. Now, I'm an oil man, and this is my boy.
By the way, there'd be no fracking. So let me ask you, Mr. Governor, how do you think that works in Texas? No fracking, no drilling, no oil. Is that okay?
No, it isn't. That doesn't mean, that's not what that means at all. That just means no fracking, no drilling, no oil in the Grand fucking Canyon or Yellowstone National Park or at the base of the Washington Monument, you dick.
Good. I don't think Biden's going to do too well in Texas.
Actually, he's beating you already.
He's already written it off. It's gone. No fracking. That's part of his platform.
Yeah, they don't do fracking down there. Fracking is largely a Midwestern kind of a thing.
If these far-left politicians...
You're talking to oil dudes.
...get into power, they will demolish not only your industry, but the entire U.S. economy.
That's the goal, right? Totally.
Their stated agenda...
Christ.
...includes rejoining the Paris Climate Accord...
Yeah, you mentioned that already, I think.
Billions and billions of dollars in order to make us non-competitive, and seeking an even higher level of restrictions mandating net zero carbon emissions, which frankly is impossible.
Is that me or them?
Mandating net zero carbon emissions, which frankly is impossible.
No, it isn't. Mandating net zero. Do you understand? No, of course he doesn't. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to interrupt with the idea that he understands what net zero means versus zero.
For all new homes, offices, and buildings by 2030, not possible to do. And if you ever did it...
By 2030? Christ, it's 447. We already missed it. 2:30. Time to go to the dentist.
Would cost so much
2:30. You mean 2030?
that your home would be valueless. This would cause the cost of construction to
Or does he think Jesus was born right around the time of the Constitution signing?
skyrocket and effectively end the use of natural gas in homes because it would be an impossible situation.
No, it wouldn't. No, natural gas would be a more mitigatory fuel source than using coal. It would be easier to reach the net zero goal with natural gas than with coal. Because if one produces 800 million tons of carbon emission and one produces 75 million tons of carbon, and see what I'm saying? The difference, if you're trying to get to the 0 point nationwide, if you're closer to the lower number, it's better. So fracking moves you away from coal until the thorium reactors come online and you have enough personal solar panels house to house to cover the HVAC use, which is the biggest, most expensive part of most houses' year-round costs. And look who I'm talking to, Mr. SATs. I'm kidding. That was Joe Shapiro.
They're asking for things, just so you understand, that are impossible.
Like coming out with a safe vaccine in 6 months?
I don't know. I haven't checked recently. What have they done with cows? Remember, there were going to be no more cows and no more cattle.
No more cows and no more cattle? Since when? Oh, are we at methane now? Are we back to cow farts? You do realize a lot of us are omnivores, right?
I think they might have left that one off the manifesto, but it'll be back.
It's. Wait a minute. What is this? Good God. Hi, David. Fuck off.
Their platform calls for mandating zero carbon emissions from power plants by 2035. In other words,
net zero.
No drilling, no fracking, no coal, no shale, no gas, no oil. Otherwise, they've been very good to the industry, I think.
Person, woman, man, camera, TV.
You got to be careful, you know?
Yeah.
People don't take it seriously. If they got in, you will have no more energy coming out of the great state of Texas, out of New Mexico, out of anywhere. Oklahoma, North Dakota, name them. Pennsylvania.
Yeah, go for it. Give us a couple more states.
Pennsylvania does a lot. People don't realize that a lot. It would throw Pennsylvania, Ohio.
He's just going to name the states he's losing that he needs right now.
So many other places. You don't realize how big it is. They want to have no fracking, no nothing.
No fracking, no nothing. I think the goal is to net reduce the carbon emissions from stuff and the pollution from things and move towards better technologies that produce more energy at a lower environmental cost over the course of 3 to 5 decades. Does he not think, like, did nobody tell him we don't want to, like, arrest the United States' technological development in 1976? Is it like, I mean, honestly, does he think we all still dream of being the Ewings on Dallas?
The policies required to implement this extreme agenda would mean the death of American prosperity and the end of the American middle class.
Really? You don't think the American middle class could find a way to make money making solar panels, windmills, thorium reactors, micronuclear, geothermal? You don't think they could figure out a way to do that? Biofuels?
It would mean, I think, even worse than that. It would.
The end of the. What's worse than the end of the middle class? The complete destruction of the 1%? I don't know.
Destroy our country. I used to say would become another Venezuela. Same ideology, you would become another Venezuela. Venezuela used to be one of the richest in the world.
Did Venezuela sign on to the Paris Accord and that's how things went to shit?
per capita, and period, one of the richest in the world, among the largest oil
Not richest, biggest oil reserves. Right.
Now they don't have water. They don't have medicine.
They don't have air. Our pets' heads are falling off.
They don't have food.
We got no food. Our pets' heads are falling off. I just want to go someplace where we can get plugged into the social pipeline. Talking about a place where the beer flows like wine, where beautiful women flock like the salmon of Capistrano. Talking about Aspen. I don't know, Lloyd. The French are assholes.
Out of oil, it doesn't matter. Doesn't seem to matter. They don't have anything. And that can happen to us. All you have to do is look at Portland. Look at the agitators.
That's what happened. Portland nationalized their oil reserves and then put a dictator in place when they still had death squads, and it was just overnight. I mean, they might as well just call it Venezuela, Oregon now.
Look at the anarchists in Portland.
Okay. Yeah.
And our people have done a great job in protecting our courthouse, and I told my people a little while ago, if they...
Oh, we're gonna revisit his moment on his way to the helicopter.
We'll solve that problem locally very soon.
We'll go in. And
we're going to send in the National Guard and get it solved very quickly, just like we did in Minneapolis.
Minneapolis. Oh, the tiny Annapolis that exists in Minnesota. Sorry, Minnesota. Minnesota, I've enjoyed sitting on many a porch in many a summertime. Minneapolis. Christ, man. How do you keep screwing that up? Minneapolis. Come on. Minneapolis. Just run it all together. It's like Ulysses. You don't have to say Ulysses. Ulysses S. Grant. It's not Ulysses Grant. I think that might be the confusion here. It's Minneapolis. Anybody who's watched Purple Rain knows this. It's Minneapolis. It's not a tiny version of Annapolis, Maryland. It's not Minneapolis.
Just like we will do in other places. They want to solve their problem. They've got a very short time to do it. But
why? Why do they have a very short time to do it? Why wouldn't you want to solve it completely as opposed to solving it quickly? See, we're citizens of a country and we have laws and all that kind of stuff. Sometimes it takes a little while. You know, I mean, the court system can drag on for years in some cases, even when you know somebody's guilty. You know, it's kind of, that's the aggravating part. It takes a couple years sometimes for somebody to get to, you know, a big murder trial or whatever. But it's the price we pay to make sure we're not chucking people in jail innocently all the time or beheading people, for example. It's the, you know, it's the dragging aspect and the part we take for granted in a functioning democracy. These are not problems you want to solve quickly because that usually involves snipers. But then this is the asshole who hired Paul Manafort to run his campaign, who was behind the snipers who killed people at the Maidan rally in Ukraine.
To solve their...
Go find Paul Manafort's daughter's text messages to each other. They posted a bunch of them. It's fucking horrifying.
Problem, or we send in the National Guard. The U.S.
You didn't send in National Guard, dickhead. You were sending in Homeland Security and Port Authority people.
Energy industry would grind to a halt, and every single energy-producing state would be plunged into a depression.
That's right. Because they're doing so great right now.
2 million jobs would vanish.
Dems are socialists. Go piss up a rope. This is the dude who just literally manipulated the market so oil companies could remain positive, prepaid for a vaccine that a company doesn't even have yet, and we're still going to pay when it's done. We're the socialists? You're shitting me, right? Socialism is when the government takes over the means of production and directs the process of that function with taxpayers' funds, regardless of what the taxpayers want. That's what? Really? You're confusing socialism with the ability for people who are taxed to have a say in how those taxes are spent. That's not socialism. There are democratic socialists, just like there were national socialists in Germany at one point. I don't give a shit about those people. What we do in this country is the people have a say in how our taxes are spent. And if we are more concerned with the possible death of ourselves and our family and our friends because of healthcare issues versus a war, for example, then the quote-unquote socialist cost of the military can be shifted to healthcare costs because that's where the threat is.
Just the state of Texas alone, and I think the number's probably, Greg, a lot higher than 2 million.
Just make it up. Yeah, just any number they give you, just say it's double.
Millions more would disappear in New Mexico and Ohio and Colorado and Pennsylvania by imposing these
and all the other states that I'm shitting the bed in.
Punishing restrictions and beyond restrictions. The Washington...
Yeah, this is Republican socialism. He is a Republican socialist.
Radical left, crazy Democrats.
Crazy Democrats. All right, I take issue with the radical left part of it, but I absolutely qualify as a crazy Democrat. I will own that. That is definitely me.
Also send countless American jobs, factories, industries to China and to other foreign polluting states.
Yeah, why allow them to do all the polluting over there when we can pollute right here at home?
They want us to take care of our air, but China doesn't take care of its air. In all fairness, India doesn't take care of its air.
Jesus Christ, we know. That's why the Europeans in the United States and Canada and countries in some of the South American countries all got together and formed the Paris Accord to try and mitigate that fact until India and China get their act together. If we just pollute at the level that they're polluting and don't give a shit, then we're all screwed. This is like saying, well, somebody's got to drive home, and I'm the only of the four of us that are going to go in the car. I'm the only one who hasn't been drinking. And instead of saying I should be the one to drive, he's saying I should be the one to drive, but not until I've had a drink.
Russia doesn't take care of its air, but we do.
And we're going to put a stop to that.
Not on my watch, it's not going to happen, I can tell you that.
We're not going to watch our air on my watch. What?
Because as long as I'm president, we will always...
Yeah, Templeton, unhinged Democrat is fun, too. I like that. It's like Lucy's taking Vitamin or whatever.
Put America first. It's very simple. Very simple.
That's why, while other countries poison their air, we're not going to be there. Mr. President, we cannot have an air pollution gap.
For years and years, we put other countries first. Do we now put America first?
Thank you, Georgina. Super Chat is censoring me from my normal potty mouth. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I understand that. I apologize.
We have seen in cities and towns across our nation, it's not just Texas oil that the radical Democrats want to destroy. They want to destroy our country.
Do they? Well, I guess the radical ones. I mean, I don't know any personally. I haven't met any that want to, radical Democrats that want to destroy the country. I don't know why you would, if you want to destroy the country, why you would stay in a political party. And if you did, you'd certainly be one that would get into power and then take all your cues from a foreign power that wants to destroy democracy in the world, like Russia, for example, or China.
People are sick. They are sick, and you better get used to hearing it.
Why? Because you're just going to say it over and over again because you don't actually have a plan?
Because they have some real problems.
Okay, cool. What's their real problems? Give it to me.
They don't love our country.
They don't love our country. Well, why would you come up with something like the ACA if you don't love the country? Why would you put into position something like the COPS program or a pandemic response team? Why would you? That would be a good point. If you didn't love the country, if you hated it, because that's what we're really talking about, why would you put in place a pandemic response team? If you hated the country and you didn't love it, you wanted to get rid of it, you want to destroy it because you're radical and crazy, and so you'd create a pandemic response team. It would seem to me that the person who hates the country is the country that had a pandemic, is the group that had a pandemic response team and got rid of it.
In any way, shape, or form, they don't
love it in any way, shape, or form. Okay.
Our country. There's no respect for the American way of life. There is no way of life ever in history that's been like the great American way of life. There's no respect, but there is by you, and there is by 95% of our people. Our people love our country. And
well, then 95% of our people love our country, then that includes the Democrats. Thanks, Rose. What?
People love our anthem, and they love our flag. Remember?
I'm a big fan of the anthem. I mean, it's got a nice beat, and you can dance to it. And I love the flag as well. One of the great things I love about our flag is the fact that even if you burn it, it still stands up for the ideals that that it represents. As a matter of fact, letting it be burned or desecrated and understanding that that's part of political speech in this country anyways, shows how powerful the flag itself is. Kneeling for the anthem or the flag because you feel it is not living up to the standards that we hold so dear and that are represented in the flag is crucial to those very things. But using it like it's the McDonald's M, for example, is a bunch of bullshit.
For that.
Biggest applause line of the whole thing, by the way.
The radical left wants to tear down everything in its way, and in
well, then why are we wearing masks?
its place, they want power for themselves. They want power.
Mm-hmm. Project much?
Hard to believe.
Hard to believe.
Power. They want to uproot and demolish.
The irony of that they want power, but they want to destroy oil and gas, and they want power, but there was almost a joke there. He almost pulled it together, but he just did not have the mental capacity to make it happen. Because that's what you say in that moment. Like the radical left Democrats want power. That's all they care about is power. But you guys have got the power. This is the kind of power I'm here to support. American power that came out of the ground, and we're going to process it, and we're the little future of a clean coal. Like, just go into it. But he's too stupid to even do his own talking point.
Abolish every American value. They want to wipe away.
They want to abolish every American value. Okay, like all men are created equal.
Every trace of religion from
every trace of religion. Biden's a Catholic. His son Beau would go from mass to a community center. They're Catholics. Vast majority of the country are Christians. They just don't like this bullshit holding the Bible upside down in front of a burned out church you would never set foot in.
Life. They want to indoctrinate our children, defund our police, abolish the suburbs, incite riots, and leave every city at the mercy of the radical left.
Every city at the okay. So sorry, I think a lot of us would rather the country be returned to either the Obama or Clinton years as far as its structural integrity, while we continue to work on things like, social and racial and gender-based inequities. So, but go ahead. I'm sorry, I interrupted you. You were going to go to like radical left FEMA camps? Are you going to bring up Jade Helm?
That's not going to happen.
No, it isn't. You know why it's not going to happen? Because Democrats don't want that?
That's not going to happen.
Yeah, because you pulled it out of your ass and you're waving it around like an art project.
And by the way, I just ended the rule on suburbs.
The rule on suburbs that's been around since 1968. You know that annoying leftover from the civil rights era?
Suburbs, people fight all of their lives to get into the suburbs and have a beautiful home.
Right.
There will be no more low-income housing forced into the suburbs. I abandoned and took away and just rescinded the rule. It's been going on for years. I've seen conflict for years.
Everybody he's talking to in that audience is like, fuck, dude, I wanted to move out of the city and into the suburbs so my kid could play and all that kind of stuff. I'm like you're in front of a crowd full of NIMBY and you think that's going to help?
It's been hell.
It's been hell.
For Suburbia.
It's been hell for Suburbia. Yeah, because since 1968, Suburbia's really had a rough time of it. Christ, have you ever been outside of either like New York City or a golf course? I swear to God, this is the most traveling he's ever done.
We rescinded the rule 3 days ago.
And the whole thing has changed overnight.
So enjoy your life, ladies and
enjoy your life, ladies and gentlemen.
Enjoy your life.
Enjoy your life free of poor people. Low-income housing. That was going to be it. Bringing these low-income people into your lovely suburb.
Proud people of Texas will never bow, kneel, or surrender to the left-wing mob. You will always stand.
This is a rally. I thought he was supposed to talk about he's signing an official declaration.
Tall and strong for America.
This is all his little this is just a rally.
Everyone here,
we know, but this is a little more so than usual.
Today carries the legacy.
I mean, he is losing Texas, so can't say I blame him. You might, dude, swing a little harder. You know what I mean? Really go for the big orange today.
The toughest, fiercest, and most determined people ever to walk the face of the earth. Your ancestors, you know that.
Your ancestors? What? Sorry, I'm going to roll back to either the Vikings, maybe the direct descendants of Genghis Khan. I mean, the Aztecs were pretty tough, too. I mean, they obviously, smallpox was rough, but...
You know that. Generations of Texas oil workers before you gave every last bit of sweat and heart and grit that they had to build up this country. They loved our country. They loved our country so much they couldn't breathe.
They loved our... What? They loved our country so much they couldn't breathe. Hey, asshole, when you're basically pro-pollution and you're in front of a bunch of oil barrels, maybe they loved our country so much they couldn't breathe. Oh, I need that one again. Oh, that was a sweet one. Good God. Oh.
Your ancestors, you know that.
Your ancestors, by the way.
You know that.
I have a rule. Ancestors has to be like 500 years ago or further, but okay.
Generations of Texas oil workers before you gave every last bit of sweat and heart and grit that they had to build up this country. They loved our country. They loved our country so much they couldn't breathe. Their pride.
What does that mean? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Oh my God. They loved our country so much they couldn't breathe. I'm going to go out on a limb and say it might have been the smoke from the oil wells. A lot of them died in oil fires. Did you see There Will Be Blood? They couldn't breathe. No, he should say the same thing in coal country. Oh, God, that was fun. Yeah. They loved our country so much they couldn't breathe. You're a maniac. You are a complete. I swear to God. Oh God! Every time I think he has topped out the stupid for the day. Like he's a never-ending cornucopia of batshit. Oh God! It's like, oh my God! They loved our country so much, and he swells to it like it's gonna be something. Like he's like, it's like this is gonna be my MLK speech to the energy workers.
Legacy of some of the toughest, fiercest, and most determined people ever to walk the face of the earth.
That's right. That your people, you. I'm sucking up to you.
Your ancestors, you know.
They were so tough they couldn't breathe.
That. You know that.
Yeah.
Generations of Texas oil workers before you.
True, Gonzo.
Gave every last bit of sweat and heart and grit that they had to build up this country. They loved our country. They loved our country so much they couldn't breathe. Their pride and devotion.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh.
Ocean helped raise up America's cities, power our factories, propel our industries, sustain our families, supply our military, and fuel America's rise into the strongest, wealthiest, and greatest nation the world has ever known. We are
This is his like big finale.
Now at the strongest point militarily we've ever been.
Yeah, it's true. When we were actually fighting real wars, it was a little rougher. We didn't have a lot of leftover munition during World War II or World War I or the Korean War, or Vietnam, or in the middle of the Iraq and Afghanistan wars. I mean, we were constantly having to make stuff. It's amazing how many bullets pile up and how many ships you have when no one's blowing them up or using them.
I'll tell you, Ted.
Please tell us the whole thing. Tell us the whole thing. I missed that.
At the strongest point militarily we've ever been due to I'll tell you, Ted, where is Ted? He was a big leader in this. Stand up again, Ted. Ted Cruz.
Due to Ted, it says Ted, you're in a tutu. Ted, stand up.
John Cornyn.
Wait, I thought we were talking about Ted Cruz.
And our
If he asks the governor to stand up, God damn it.
And our House approved $2.5 trillion to rebuild entirely the United States military. It's now at a point.
It's not rebuilding it entirely. We didn't throw out everything we had. It's a 10-year plan.
That it's the strongest it's ever been. A lot of the equipment is still coming in.
Sure, yeah. It's here. Ooh, what is that face? That's fun. Only Putin's zipper has seen that face before.
And new planes and missiles and everything you can think of.
Oh, it's like all the toys. If only we had someone to kill.
And I want to thank you, Ted. You were one of the real leaders.
Sorry, Flame Doodle, thanks.
The two of you, I appreciate it very much. You were well represented. We have the greatest equipment on earth. We have equipment that I can't even tell you about.
Yeah, shut up.
You don't want to know about it, frankly, and hopefully we never have to use it.
Right. You know what we need, though? Swabs, you bastard.
Now it's your turn to help lead our nation to even greater heights
of pollution.
Today we give thanks for each and every one of you, and we are telling the Washington politicians trying to abolish American
You are a Washington politician.
energy.
We're not trying to, no one's trying to abolish American market of energy. We're trying to get ahead of the world in clean energy. Do you not, can you not, literally, it's like this asshole is still selling dial phones door to door.
Don't mess with Texas.
Let's just throw that phrase in or whatever. Oh no, El Paso, hellhole, I couldn't get higher. All right.
And I just want to finish by saying that I've had a great relationship with your leaders, with your politicians, with all the people in Texas. We've had
the rich ones.
Great success.
Uh-huh.
We had a great victory. They said, oh, I don't know if he'll win. And we won. Not only did we win, we won quickly and easily.
Yeah, it's not going to be that easy this time.
And now we're leading what we had even 4 years
No, you're not.
ago.
That's just like a fantasy. You're not leading where you were 4 years ago.
I will never let you down.
Again. But just trust me.
We'll never let Texas down. And
hey, Robin. Robin knows who I'm singing. Look at that. And it was able to type it that fast with periods in there.
your governor and your lieutenant governor and your senators, they know that very well. So thank you, and thank you very much, Greg, Dan. Thank you very much, Ted. Thank you. Great job. God bless you and the great state of Texas. God bless you. God bless you. So on behalf of
Which God are you talking about? Because I know you hold up a Christian Bible, but do you have to hold it upside down if you're a devil worshiper? Is that the rule? I don't know. I'm not one, so I don't know what I mean, it would make sense to me. I mean, standing in front of a church in the middle of a riot holding a Bible upside down does seem like a Church of Satan scavenger hunt thing. Like, okay, next on the list, stand in front of a burned out church holding a Bible upside down. Got it. But which is it Baphomet? I don't know which God you're talking about. Because it's not the one I think most of us share.
American energy worker.
Because I don't remember Blessed are the Pussy Grabbers ever showing up in the Sermon on the Mount.
I will now sign these very important permits.
He's there signing permits. Jesus Christ.
Your governor and your senators have been after me for a long time to sign, and they've been after a lot
It's perfunctory. You're just late doing your homework.
of other presidents to sign them, but they never were able to get it done. But we got it done, and we got it done for a great state called Texas. Thank you very
Oh, that's what state. I forget what.
much, everybody.
Come on, guys. Is Louie Gohmert here? Come up and cough on me. Yeah, screw social distancing. No masks. That's all. Yeah. Ted Cruz is just like Don Jr. He's one of those people where like you get a like they grow a beard and their chin looks smaller. How's that possible? That's great. These are not executive orders. These are permits that are legal, would either be normally approved under the congressional levels. There's no cross-border permitting like that affects trade or anything. What are these exactly? Hold on. Let me look this shit up. Give me 1 second. See if we can find a Trump signs for permits Texas. What the hell? Signs permits to restore energy balance. Okay. Signs 4 pipeline permits to. Okay, so this is KXAN is talking about this. Let's find out, shall we? President Trump visited Texas Wednesday. God, it seems like so long ago. July 29th for a campaign fundraiser in Odessa. Oh, that's why he was there. I thought he was there to sign some permits and give a speech about American energy for all Americans and for every American and all of us together and big America and Union America e pluribus unum. But no, it turns out he went to a fundraiser in Odessa and then just threw in a little campaign stop. President addressed members of the oil and gas industry at Double Eagle Energy. There he announced and signed 4 pipeline permits, which in part will allow Texas to export crude oil to Mexico. Using the pipeline, because we already export oil to Mexico. But didn't we just talk Mexico into cutting their production? So wait, we're going to cut production. We're going to insist that Mexico cut production and then sell them oil? Huh? Trump also announced, why would they have any extra to sell in the world market where they'd have to cut production if they needed to buy some? What? Trump also announced that Double Eagle Energy would extend export authorizations. Oh, extend them. You mean the ones that already exist? We'll maintain this dominant position long in the future. We'll never lose this position by announcing today export authorization for America. Liquefied natural gas can now be extended through the year 2050. Okay, so they were already in existence. When were they going to expire? Never. What were they set to expire in 2030? On Wednesday, Trump laid out his administration's response. We opened up $30 billion in the industry. Okay, we already saw that. We all read this. But some Texans think the federal government could be doing more to help the industry recover. Like Justin Slaughter. Up all night, sleep all day. That's right. I really do believe Slaughter. Anybody? No? Just me? But I know that you've got to fly. Fly to the HLs. Never wait your heart. And flowers bloom in your name. Whoa, you've got to fly. All right. I'm going to drink out of the wrong side of the can. This is laughing so much. I really do believe that he's done a pretty good job of committing to our industry. I think probably better than presidents in the past. With that said, that doesn't change the issues we're dealing with every day in the Permian Basin. I'm going to say. And that doesn't change it. And that doesn't change it, the families losing their jobs. I'm going to guess that Slaughter can put a sentence together, since the rest of it was okay, and just assume that was a typo on the part of KXAN. Every day in the Permian Basin, and that doesn't change it, the families losing their jobs. Slaughter said he hopes Trump will listen to the members of the community to fully understand that West Texas is going through. Down in the West Texas town of El Paso, I fell in love with a barrel of crude. Right now, there's obviously work to do. I mean, Midland's hurting. Isn't Midland where Bush's farm is? Right? Slaughter said, Texas Democrats criticized the president's visit during the COVID-19. State of Texas is a hotspot, and why? Because the president, together with our governor, have failed us, said Rep. Sylvia Garcia. They're more concerned with trying to cover up their failures than are covering up their faces with a mask. I know what the real line is. I'm joking around. God. Some of these folks, man. Guys are so... All right, so is he going to sign it or what? You guys want to watch me sign these permits to extend a policy that already exists that was not coming up to expire? Did they fly that little table all the way from the White House in Air Force One with his little box of pens so he could sign this here? Holy shit. Jojo Rarebit, thanks. I love you so much I can't breathe. Oh, that's so sweet. By the way, Jojo Rarebit is pretty hilarious. Did anybody see Jojo Rabbit? Did you see that movie? I loved it. I gotta say, I was hesitant to watch a movie where a little kid befriends a fictitious his friend is Hitler. His imaginary friend is Hitler, but still, it's pretty. I mean, and as far as the turn in it, it's pretty on the nose, but the moment. How do I do this if I don't spoil? The moment with his mother, and you guys, if you've seen it, will know what I'm talking about, was brutal and heartbreaking and beautiful, and it's just cool. So, Beverly Brown, Donnie has to have a party every day to do his job. Absolutely. Imaginary friend is Hitler. It's hilarious. It is, Gonzo. It's super weird. But it's a sweet story about what it's like to grow up under a propaganda. I mean, it's basically like being a 9-year-old with a maggot for a father in some ways. And then finding out your mom watching your mom dye her hair blue and start going to the Women's March. Yeah, I was very hesitant to watch it, Ninka Crinkles, honest to God. I was like, that seems, I mean, sometimes I just have a hard time committing to some movies. Like, I'm like, some about that either I know I'm going to get sucked in and I'm going to love it and it's now going to be like Snatch was that way. I didn't watch Snatch for the longest time. And I had some friends who were saying they liked it. And sometimes you just develop like an unnecessary aversion to something. I can write my name. Let's see. What's he thinking as he writes?
Person, woman, man, camera, TV.
Yeah, a permit. I'm going to go with that doesn't look like an official permit. That's going to be, that is something. He's going to sign the real permits later because they have their official forms. And they drafted those up as ceremonial permits. Ted, you want to take that? Fill in the gray spots in your beard. You know, mustaches mean you're gay. I have that left over from 1984, so I don't ever have one. That's why I never trusted John Bolton. Guys, pens. I'm gonna use a different pen for each one. This one's a fat pen job.
Person, woman, man, camera, TV. They say, that's amazing. How did you do that?
Have another pen. Ted's gonna walk away with like 3 different pens. Ted, did I give you a pen? By the way, Ted, did I tell you that Biden's slipping and has dementia? Oh wait, Ted, did I tell you Biden's slipping and he has dementia? Somebody tell Ted that Biden's slipping and he has dementia. Ted, I forgot to tell you, Biden's slipping and he has dementia. Let's see, what's he thinking while he writes this one?
A lot of very bad things are happening in Nicaragua.
You take it. Okay, we'll go counterclockwise to the end. I'll just skip. Look at that. Hi, I'm Donald Trump for brute butt pads. It's not just an aftershave anymore. Hello. This permits us selling oil to Mexico, which they're not going to pay for it any more than the wall. Are they going to just run this pipeline he's signing off on straight through the hole in his wall? Yeah, we must. You have to free Nicaragua.
A lot of very bad things are happening in Nicaragua.
If you get it in order, you get extra points. 10 minutes, 15, 20 minutes later, they say, remember the first question? Not the first, but the 10th question?
I swear to God, this might be a thing for the next one. Is I'm going to take like a video of him where he's just thinking and doing stuff and put his own stupid thoughts in his head.
Let's give this to...
Just flick it. You know what? I haven't been tested today, and I just shook hands with Louie Gohmert about 3 hours ago, and I don't like washing my hands, so let me throw this to a stranger. This was just handed to me by a staffer who tested positive.
You want to give that? Give that to the governor. So you go.
Really? Is he playing Macho Man? Okay, who gave Ted Cruz control of the iPod? Nothing says macho right-winger like a good round of YMCA. Oh, you can hang out with all the boys? Wait, what a second. That's not, I mean, that's something. I mean, next thing you know, he'll be wishing Ghislaine Maxwell well. I mean, honestly, this is insane. Like, seriously. This looks like a fetish sausage fest for, like, it's like a convention for Brokeback Mountain. I don't understand. Oh my God. But don't you want to see if you can drill in your own basement? Good God. This is, hold on, I'll bring you guys into it for a moment just because I can, because that's what I think he just needs to stick to Ted Nugent songs at this point. I agree. I don't know why he doesn't do it at one point. It's not like, I mean, the sexual innuendos in that, like, you can't do Wang Dang Sweet Poontang and get away with it? I mean, I thought you were Mr. If you're really macho, you could. Oh, everybody's beating feet. Absolutely, Gonzo. This has been, oh my God. Is there a ballad called I Wish I Could Quit You? The Trump musical, Lin-Manuel, if you're listening, and I know that you are, I know you're a regular watcher. I know you are. I know a bunch of you are. I get your DMs. You have to make the musical of this presidency. We need it like a big palate cleanser. Alec Baldwin could use the work. Once we, you're going to have to wait 5 years for us all to just, get a little ahead of it so it's funny again, but I'm sure the Village people would sign off on it. It has to be done. I picked YMCA because the C stands for Christian, so I figured my evangelical base would be pumped up by it. That's a great argument, Holy smokes. Thank you. My mullet's coming along quite nicely. It's getting there. Look at that. Look at that. See, it's starting to drape on the back. Look at that. This is for real, Although this stuff is far too long on the sides for it to start qualifying as a mullet. Like I gotta cut this stuff. I gotta shorten it on the sides. That's next. There is actually a Brokeback Mountain opera. Well, I think they should have been selling tickets. Oh, thanks, Waiting for Something. Holy God. They played, I can't understand. The hell? Yes, I'm almost Hallie on my own. That's right. Yeah, all I got to do is makeup at this point. Yeah, it's laying a little flat today, but then I did a protein treatment on it because it's starting to get long, and I got rid of some of the split ends. So it's much better. I should actually get a perm, full on 80s hair. I think it's time to bring it back. I mean, if you're gonna be I love the 80s, you got to commit to it. Oh, by the way, let me see if this maybe I can find it. Hold on. We might not. Yeah, hold on. I know we're a little over today, but there's whoops. Quit it. Autofill just hey, there we go. Axios did an interview with him. And let's see, Axios. Yeah, here he is.
With Vladimir Putin on July 23rd.
Vladimir Putin on July 23rd. This is pretty extraordinary. Let me see if I can find the longer form of it, though. I've never raised. Have you ever raised the issue of? And by the way, okay. So let me open this so that it doesn't. It's such a weird thing on here. But good job, Jonathan Swan. Good on you, Oz, for doing this. Hold on. Pause. Hold on. I don't want to lose any of this, but it's only 4 minutes long, about. So I'll just make sure the audio's up. But if you look in here, right here, look at this. Hi from Australia. We don't play YMCA here. You should start, John. My problem isn't with the song. You love doing the Aussie accent. You do well. Well, thanks, Gonzo. I like it. It's a friendly accent, although I prefer a Scottish accent because I've tried to do that my whole life, and it turned out I just found out in the last year how much Scottish Blood have gotten me, so I'm learning more of it. I want to spend more time there. I wish I'd have known before I did Edinburgh. I'd have stayed an extra week. So, this is the president is doing an interview on Axios on HBO. This is the part that's coming out. This is where he's talking about, he gets asked repeatedly if he brought up the Russian bounty story with Putin on the phone. And wait,
it's been widely reported.
I want to see the rest of the interview just to find out why he's holding that piece of paper, because you know how he always thank you, Philly Dana. Thank you for the cup of coffee, and thank you guys for the super chats today. You guys have been awesome. I know I'm going long. I know it. I know you got lives to get to, but it's Wednesday. It's a hump day. We're hanging out, and my food got here and it's already waiting downstairs. Summer brought dinner back from the when she went to the gym, and just sitting down there, and I'm starving. But it can wait. It's only 4 minutes, which is 8 minutes, maybe 10 of me chatting. So I'll try and get through this. And thank you guys for the super chats today. It's amazing, especially the new members of the family who've just been with us. I appreciate you guys. And remember, vote.org. We'll get to that in a minute.
That the US has intelligence.
I don't know why he's putting that down. I'm guessing it's a death chart.
Indicating that Russia paid bounties.
Interesting body language. Swan clearly doesn't trust him. Oh, Christina F., thank you so much. You're amazing. No, you're amazing. No, you are. You're amazing.
Or offered to pay bounties to Taliban fighters to kill American soldiers.
Right. I think I just dropped a deuce.
You had a
phone
call with Vladimir Putin on July 23rd.
Yeah, he's had 8 now in the last 10 weeks.
Did you bring up this issue?
No, that was a phone call to discuss other things, and frankly...
Excuse me, Mr. Swan, you do not ask the president. Thank you, Melinda. What in the world? I don't know what you're thinking, Swan. You do not ask the president what he discusses with Vladimir Putin. He does not talk about what they talk about on those phone calls. He just simply does not, okay? So I don't even know why you're going in this line of questioning. You know it's a dead end. He's not going to tell you anything that they talked about.
That's an issue that many people said was fake news.
No one's used that phrase.
Who said it was a fault? I think a lot of people, if you look at some of the wonderful folks from the Bush administration.
He means Colin Powell now, and he thinks Colin Powell said that they were overreacting to the information. I don't think people were overreacting to the information. I think people were overreacting to the fact that it was in his PDB. He was warned about it. He knew about it for a year. We just found out about it, and they're oddly not responding to it, unlike any other White House in history.
And some of them, not any friends of mine.
Yeah.
Were saying that it's a fake issue, but a lot.
They didn't say it was a fake issue. They said they thought the press was overreacting.
People said it's a fake issue.
There was dispute.
Well, we had a call.
Yeah, there's dispute, which is normal.
Talking about
But what are your people in the government currently who have the info saying the most?
Nuclear proliferation, which is a very big subject.
Yeah, we had a START treaty, and you let Russia get rid of it, and now we're pulling troops out of Germany. What, so, because they're going to strike Germany soon and we don't want our people there when it happens, or as few as possible?
Where they would like to
convince me otherwise.
Something, and so would I. We discussed numerous things. We did not discuss that, no.
And you've never...
But I thought you... No, you don't... You talked about nuclear proliferation and you didn't discuss that. Excuse me. I thought we didn't discuss anything in those calls.
Discussed it with him.
I have never discussed it with him, no.
Why are you telling us what you're discussing? You said you don't.
I would. I'd have no problem with it.
But you don't believe
the intelligence.
It never
it's
because you don't believe the intelligence. That's why.
Everything. It's interesting. Nobody ever brings up China.
That's because China didn't take out bounties on our soldiers. China attacks us. They have cyber attacks on us. I mean, we should bring it up. You owe them $300 million.
Bring Russia.
Yeah, they only should. It should only be Russia, because you only owe them double what you owe China.
If we can do something with Russia in terms of nuclear proliferation.
Points on saying nuclear proliferation, by the way. Easily. That's a tough one. When you have a big tongue. If you have a tiny little weird squirrely tongue, it's easy to
which is a very big problem. Bigger problem than global warming.
Well, it's a form of global warming if it goes out of control.
A much bigger problem than global warming in terms of the real world.
The real world, I see. So climate change is not the real world, kids. Pollution does not cause global climate issues. I mean, look, hurricanes and heat are getting worse all the time, not because of climate change. It's happening because Jesus hates gay marriage.
Big great thing. No, it never reached my desk. You
know? Yes, it did. At least 3 times.
Why? Because they didn't think it was intelligence. They didn't think it was real.
It was in your written brief, though.
So you've had discussions about it. So you discussed it with them. They didn't think it was real, so it never reached your desk. So you went and talked to them.
They didn't think it was worthy.
Which ones didn't think it was real and which ones did? Who interrupted it on its way to your desk? Maybe you're not the Russian mole after all. Maybe it's Hope Hicks.
I wouldn't mind. If it reached my desk, I would have done something about it.
I don't believe that's true either. I mean, this is basically the same shit we heard from Bush. I was in the middle of reading My Pet Goat. Nothing. I didn't see anything.
Never reached my desk because...
Do you read your written brief?
I do. I read a lot. Really? You know, I read a lot. They like to say I don't read. I read a lot.
Do you read the president's daily brief? You're saying you read a lot. Reading a chyron on Fox is not reading a lot.
I comprehend extraordinarily well, probably better than anybody that you've interviewed in a long time.
I comprehend extraordinarily well, probably better than anyone you've interviewed in a long time. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say, A, that's bullshit, and B, what kind of a weakling, what kind of low self-esteem do you have to say to let those words leave your face in a defensive way without a touch of... Kermit wants a shout out and I love giving you mine. Oh, Templeton. Kermit! Much love. The frog itself, or... Okay.
I read a lot. I spend a lot of time at meetings. Usually it's once a day or at least 2 or 3 times a week, intelligence
because this was apparently
talking about India, talking about with the problems with China, talking about so many different elements of the world. Mm-hmm. The world is a very angry place. If you
Geez, project much?
All over the world.
It's weird. Everywhere I go, people are angry when they see me. It must mean the world is an angry place. Could mean you're an asshole and nobody's happy to see you.
I call up, I see 22 soldiers were killed in India with...
You called up to find this out? Who'd you call? China or India? They were beating each other to death on the border over a disputed territory in Tibet, which there are no weapons allowed, no guns, so they just beat the shit out of each other. Who'd you call up 2 weeks after it was in the news?
China fighting over the border. It's been raging for many, many decades. And they've been fighting and back and forth. I have so many...
What does that do? Look at look at that head. I mean, we all have self-esteem issues. We all deal with physical imperfections. Well, some of us. And nothing quite lives up to our... I mean, we all got parts of our bodies we wish were better. It's a natural thing. And some you can improve, and some people you just have to learn to live with. Or you could just give up entirely and try to look as much like a bullfrog as you possibly could. And look, these are purple curtains. Look how lavender they are. Look how light they are compared to their real color. Because they changed the hue to take the orange out of the picture because that's where the line is. He probably still had makeup on from this interview when he was leaving. I mean, I don't know when they timed this. They may have done it. I mean, he always has makeup like this, but that's just... Christ. You know what? I used to not be happy with my jawline. I am now happy with my jawline. My nose is pretty solid, too. I mean, it's like Smokey and the Bandit. You know, where she's like, I like your profile. And he goes, thanks. I like my profile too. And she goes, yeah, She goes, we got a lot in common. And he says, yeah, we both like half my face.
Briefings on so many different countries, but this one didn't reach my desk.
Seriously. It's like Jiminy Glick. It's like one of the makeup tests for Jiminy Glick that they went, too creepy.
The reason I say this is even if you don't believe this particular piece of intelligence, and there is dispute, no doubt there is dispute in the intelligence community about it.
As there is about all intelligence, because when you're trying to get information out of a war zone.
Your former, John Nicholson, former head of forces in Afghanistan, said, and this is when he was working for you, that Russia is supplying weapons to the Taliban.
So why is it such a reach that here's a weapon, by the way, here's an extra $1,000 if you shoot an American soldier with it?
Isn't that enough to challenge Putin over the killings of
Well,
US
we supplied
soldiers?
weapons when they were fighting Russia, too, you know.
Yeah, but we were in a current war with Russia. We were in the Cold War. The Afghan war was a proxy war. We were supplying the Afghans so that Russia wouldn't get a toehold on basically what you're handing to them right now. They're getting everything they wanted during the Cold War under you. We were in a Cold War with them. There were daily Russian nuclear standoffs going on. They had 2,600 sites targeted within the United States. We had dozens, if not hundreds, of sites inside Russia we were going to hit. One of them was Chernobyl. Apparently, they didn't need us.
When they were fighting with the Taliban in Afghanistan,
it's a different era.
Yeah. Look at those pupils. Thanks, Shadowski. Stealth humor is a great weapon against the humorless man, baby. Thanks for the intelligent laughs and the farts. You gotta. I take no credit for the farts at all. I mean, look at his face. That's clearly something that's happening. Yeah, that's not me at all. Thank you, Slick Chick. The nose is solid. It's actually a beautiful nose. Thanks for the sending. Oh, well, thanks. I'm happy with it, you know. It's got a little bulb on the end. Makes it cute instead of handsome, which, you know, takes the edge off a little bit.
Well, it's a different. I'm just saying, yes.
But does that?
I'm just saying we did that too. But how does that? I don't know. I didn't ask Nicholson about that. He was there for a long time. Didn't have.
Look at that line. Jesus Christ. What a weird. I mean, honestly, I understand what a receding hairline is, but like to the temples, like I shaved my temples up to here. Under, you know, and it's a Real Genius thing. I don't know why I stuck on that as being cool. If you look at Chris Knight in Real Genius, he has a.
I was thinking of the immortal words of Socrates, who said, "I drank what?"
And in Real Genius, I mean, I'm obviously not blonde. It's little I can do. But he didn't have. He shaved his right to his ear line, even though his hair was bushy. You have a good carrot nose. Thank you. Oh, we do have. I have a great carrot nose.
We're honored to have with us today our amazing Vice President Mike Pence and his wonderful wife Carrot.
By the way, it's a lot of friggin' nerve for a dude to call her Carrot when he's that orange.
Great success because, you know, he was there.
Great success, yes.
Before me, and then ultimately I made a change.
But you surely heard that, right? I mean, it's well known in the intelligence community that they're arming the Taliban, Russia.
I don't know. When you say arming, is
supplying
the Taliban
weapons.
Paying or are they giving
Russia
them?
is supplying weapons and money.
Yeah, dude, how is this the first time you're hearing this? Like, this is openly known.
To the Taliban.
I have heard that.
From him. You just heard that. You just told us you like to read. I'm always in meetings. I have them 3 times a week. I always read the PDB. There is no way your PDB didn't include OPS. Russia is still selling weapons to the Taliban.
But it's never, again, it's
never what?
Never reached my desk.
I mean,
of course it has. Thank you, Amber.
He said it on the record when he was in.
Hey, Russia doesn't want anything to do with Afghanistan.
They just want the territory. They don't want to have anything to do with. No, they don't want to fight the Taliban for control. They're seizing the country through the Taliban. Okay, let me tell you something. Especially the Marxist, commie-loving left that we're supposedly a part of. The USSR's old plan was you get the people that are on your side, that, you know, believe in your communist ideals or whatever, and you get them on your side and you provide them with money and weapons and info and all kinds of stuff, and you help them take over the government. And then when you're ready to move in, you have a big party for them and you slit their throats. It's an old plan. It's been around for millennia. All kinds of tribes have used it throughout the world. You find the people that like you in an area that you want to take over. You feed them money and all kinds of stuff. You help them take over the thing, and then you throw them a big dinner, and then you close the doors and set the place on fire or whatever. Russia, as the USSR, was doing it for a long time. It's common practice. This is Gonzo. Thanks so much. This is what the Russians have decided to do with the Taliban. This is what they're doing with the Taliban. Fund them, fund them, fund them, cut the funding. They're starving. They come begging with a bowl and go, hey, we'll meet you at the mountain range where we drop the stuff off, and then you just blow them up. It's a strategy that works every time. What Russia has stopped doing is fighting against the Afghans directly. What they're doing is just funding the side that will side with them because they have the money, and then they'll wipe them out. And thank you again, Gonzo. Holy smokes.
Let me just tell you about Russia.
Yeah, tell us all about Russia. You know them more than anybody. You've talked to them 8 times in the last 10 weeks.
Russia used to be a thing called the Soviet Union.
Oh. What? Holy shit. That explains the Moscow Music Peace Festival I watched.
Because of Afghanistan, they went bankrupt. They became...
No, not because of Afghanistan. Because of us baiting them into fighting the Afghans while we gave them weapons. See what they're doing right now? Dummy?
Russia, just so you do understand, okay?
Okay, all right, yeah, and?
The last thing that Russia wants to do is get too much involved with Afghanistan. They tried that once, it didn't work out.
Oh my God. So when they release this whole thing, believe me, I'll be chopping it up. Don't have any illusions. Illusions. Oh, I'll watch the whole episode. Trust me. We'll be doing that. We've got something to do Tuesday, apparently. Good God. All right, I'm going to sign off and go eat because we're an hour over our normal thing. And you guys, I love you for sticking around. That was really sweet. Thank you, Gonzo, again. Holy smokes. Amber Lassiter, thank you. Thank you, Slick Chick, for liking my nose. Shadowski, thank you so much. Thank you, Templeton. Thank you, Georgina. Thank you for the new follows, too, because Sybil followed, and Melinda Campbell, thank you for the super chat, and Christine F. again, thank you. And Jimmy Stylen, thanks for the bits. Thanks for all the folks over in Twitch who showed up. We cleared 41 for the first time ever. We used to have like 6 people in there. This is a drastic change. I will take percentage changes like that. Again, my viewership on Twitch is up over 1,000%. Because they were 4 or something. Anyways. Thank you, Heather. We'll see what happens. Absolutely. And Sarah, thanks for hanging around. And the bits. Thanks for all the new follows. Thank you, Jill Carter. Thank you, Domestic. Thanks, Jill Carter. By the way, hi. Thank you, Domestic. Robert Perry, thanks for the bits. And Davey, thank you for the bits. And Cover Me for the super chat. Dude, you're killing it today with your Mnuchin impersonation. I'm glad you like that one. That's caught on. You have Natalie largely to thank for that. Because she's the reason why I always have glasses on hand, because she insisted. So thank you, Natalie. Everybody appreciates that. I will be doing a whole Mnuchin bit for the next Sexy Liberal. For sure. Raphael, thank you. And Ninka Crinkles, thanks for the host and for gifting the subs to everybody. That really helped our room a lot. William O'Connor and Philly Dana. For everybody who hosted the show today, and Brian Harmeyer for kicking us off. Fantastic. So bless you guys. I'm going to go eat and spend some time with the kid. Have a wonderful Wednesday. Thank you, Benny Loco, reminding us always to give a thumbs up and a like to the show. And remember, if you hate my show and hate me making fun of the president, I appreciate you being here and improving my numbers. Oh, V. Gabriel. I'm a beast for sure. Dun, 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 dun. I was gonna do it, add it to today, but there was, it was a feast, not a famine day. Go watch Biden's speech today on racial inequities and the Q&A that he does afterwards, because you're gonna see why Trump won't ultimately want to debate him. If you don't believe me, go watch the last Sanders debate with him as well. Because for all the people who are anti-Biden, please keep pushing the dementia thing. Please keep bringing that up over and over again. Please make it, go for it. Biden's missing a step. He's got dementia. He's slipping. He's not all there. Keep pushing that as much as possible, because all it's going to do is lower the bar for the debates. And when he stomps a mud hole in Trump and marches it dry, he's going to look even more powerful and around him, because that was the mistake the Sanders campaign made. All of his supporters were pushing the Biden dementia thing, and he ate Sanders' lunch. And so keep doing that. Honestly, keep trying it. I'm not kidding. I want you to do it. Keep pushing that Biden has dementia. Do the whole thing hard as you can. Use the gaffes. Use the fact that he has a stutter. Find anywhere he stutters, and cut a bunch of clips together so they all look really bad, right? And make sure you do that. Yeah, and get them out as many as possible, because leading up to the debates, this will be awesome. And everybody else, take care of yourselves. Take care of somebody else. But watch that. Watch his. I tweeted it earlier. So go to Hal Sparks on Twitter, or if you're on Facebook, you can like the Hal Sparks page. And then, of course, infotainmentwars.com is where we want to gather on the YouTube page, where we're building our numbers. And bless you guys over at Twitch. I will be back to gaming soon. I got another week before my kid goes back to school. So I'm spending most of my nights not gaming, but hanging out with him and watching movies and playing apples to apples and board games. And he's a fan of Clue, which is a good sign for a 9-year-old. Anyways, I will be back at that, I promise. But take care of yourself. Take care of somebody else. My cousin who has COVID is still asymptomatic, but he's isolating himself, and we're keeping an eye on it. Just got tested positive yesterday, so we're keeping our fingers crossed that he'll get through this. I have every reason to believe he will. Absolutely, COD Richard. I'm looking forward to gaming with you. Yeah, I stream Gonzo on Twitch as well, playing video games. We were starting to do it regularly, and then I just spend my nights with my kid when he's here. So it's just priorities. You understand. So once he goes back to school, though, then obviously I'll be on a little more. So appreciate you guys. Give a follow over on Twitch if that's your thing. Like and subscribe to the show, and I will see you tomorrow about 3 o'clock. And we will every day we'll chip through this, and every day we'll get through, and we'll maintain our sanity, and we'll be as silly as we possibly need. Thank you, Steve. I will go eat. Okay. I am on Instagram at Hal Sparks as well. But the final reminder, if you support what I'm saying and you like what I'm saying, you can support the show through all the different means that get mentioned. Thank you, Can't Stop Lying, for helping us out with that every single day in the chat room. If you can't, I'm here for you anyways. Just come by and laugh and keep your sanity, and we will day by day, bit by bit, make our way through this. Right, Amy? We'll make it. And then if you hate my guts and you think I hate America, and you've bought you're just guzzling the demon semen Kool-Aid that Trump is urinating out over your peon little head every single day, and you're a maggot and you're a Trumpster, and you think I hate America and our flag and the cops and the troops and all that stuff, and you've been I can't fault you. You've basically been grown up in this kind of like anti-Jesus camp version of modern Republican politics. I don't fault you for being suckered so much. You lost your rent on 3-card money, and you don't have the the ethical fortitude to admit that you made a mistake, so you're just doubling down. And I get it. I understand. And I appreciate you coming by and screaming into the wind in the chat room. And it's very meaningful. And It helps us with the algorithm. But I also want you to understand, wear a mask, clean common surfaces, don't avoid crowds unless you absolutely have to, and practice social distancing, because as much as I think you're an idiot, I don't want you to die. And I want you to vote this fall. So everybody go to vote.org, make sure you're registered to vote, and we will see you come the election, because democracy is at its best when everyone participates. Vote. And this goes for you, you Antifa little weirdo white kid who'd be a school shooter if his mom would just let him get a Glock like he asked for Christmas 3 years ago. Stop wearing black and chucking bottles of urine at cops and trying to set shit on fire. Learn how to boil a goddamn egg and make your own breakfast and do your own laundry and stop and do your own sheets. It's disgusting. Eat a little better. Stop looking for yet another comfort food. Stop eating all that mac and cheese. The gluten is rotting your brain. And get your shit together and get ready to vote. You want lasting change, you moron. Other than that, I have no opinion. All right, I will see you guys tomorrow. Take care of yourselves and take care of somebody else.
We're honored to have with us today our amazing Vice President, Mike Pence, and his wonderful wife, Karen.
Person, woman, man, camera, TV.
A lot of very bad things are happening in Nicaragua.
Once it was reluctantly aroused. It was hard to get it aroused, and it is hard to get it aroused, but we got it aroused.
You'll have nobody guarding your potatoes.
And you know, when you say per capita, there's many per capitas. It's like per capita relative to what?
Oh, Gonzo, I play Call of Duty on Xbox, and I play some other games like that. Mostly first-person shooters. I'm signing off. I gotta go eat, you guys.
Something strange happened to me this morning. Was it a dream where you see yourself standing in sort of sun god robes on a pyramid with 1,000 naked women screaming and throwing little pickles at you? No. Why am I the only person that has that dream?
Sorry, I've farted.